Howdy, howdy.
Good evening.
Hey, we got to address that. Some sad news today. Uh, Lindy's beautiful dog Bella, 17 years old. She passed away last night, and as you can imagine, that's really hard on Lindy. And she's going through a lot today. So she's going to be in the chat and she'll be watching. But she has had a rough night last night, so she's going to be taking a week off to kind of gather herself. And man, I can only imagine. Like, I've got a 17-year-old poodle too, and that's so rough. So our hearts are going out to Lindy and prayers, and totally understand. And so we're all standing behind Lindy. If you want to give her some support in the chat, we'd sure appreciate it. And with that, we are going to kick off a meeting that I'm really excited to have today with Coach Raymond from SBG Gangs here. And we are going to talk about guilt and shame and how that is a tool, a propaganda tool by big food and big pharmacy to keep us addicted and to keep us from finding the real culprit. So, with that, what's going on, Raymond? What are your thoughts? What are you doing?
Yeah, first of all, my condolences to Lindy about your dog. I just want to remark. I heard your dog's name's Bella, and sometimes it seems like there's some kind of interesting fate that coincides. It's like the fact that you got with Bella to get your transformation with us, and your dog's name's been named Bella. It's almost like it's a cosmic, and even I'm sorry about your dog's death, but even then, all the way to this point, she played a part in all of this. So it's kind of cute.
Absolutely.
So, but about the guilt and shame, I'm kind of glad we're actually talking about it. We were chatting in the background there with Todd, and it reminded me we were talking about Godfather's Pizza and all that kind of stuff, because I used to work there. I worked there for 10 years. Really, part of the reason that I gained a lot of my weight was Godfather's, because I mean, when I say I could eat two larges, and these larges at Godfather's, right? They were pretty big, and they had the thick. I don't know. Did you like the thick crust, or which one did you?
I did. I liked. It's weird because later in life I liked the thin crust, but I loved
Yeah,
Godfather.
I started liking the thin crust later.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to like the thick crust, and I used to back then, because I'd clean the tables and bust them and all that, so there'd be crust left over. Since we're talking about shame, I would catch myself gnawing on those. Meanwhile, this is the leftover from other people's plates.
Yeah.
I'd gnaw on those as I'm washing the dishes or in the back and all that kind of stuff. And I even asked Todd, hey, you ever been back there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a rough place. I'd worked back there a couple times on some service calls, and I was like, "Woo! I don't want to. I'm gonna put that out of my head because I like their buffet too much."
Yeah, and it was crazy how much carbs there was, and that's what I was really addicted to, is actually the breading. The dough, just to give you an idea, because I'd go to the dough machine and all that, and we'd let it rise. So at the end of the day, when I would when we'd throw away the dough in the trash can, I would actually eat those raw dough. I got so sick one time on that, and I feel like that was one of the instances that I felt like I almost died, if not died. I mean, God, because I felt the worst I've ever felt in my life. So apparently there's such thing as the dough poisoning, but I was so hungry all the time, even
Yeah.
even if I ate all day long, I still wanted a raw dough. What the heck, right?
Right. Crazy, isn't it?
So yeah, exactly. Because I had access to the food, to the leftovers, to the trash, which I did. Crazy, right? And I still
Absolutely.
wanted more.
Yep. Yeah,
So
I totally remember it. I mean, it was funny when you said Godfather's because that was my favorite pizza place growing up when I was a kid, because they always had a good deal on the buffet, and they had the best
oh yeah.
buffet pizza. And I'd go in there, and I mean, I'd be 16 plates deep in that place. I mean, I was shutting them down. They were not they were not getting their $8 out of me.
I know, because it was so cheap too. Yeah, that's right, for the buffet. Yeah.
I remember it was $6.99 for the buffet and an extra 99 cents for a drink. It
Pop,
was,
yeah.
Yeah.
And they
oh
probably
man,
had free refills too, right?
free refills, and I mean,
They did. They had the free refills. You could just load up on as much soda, which I did that too. So I worked there. I was constantly drinking soda too.
And we didn't have Godfathers here. We had Shakey's.
Huh.
Shakey's Pizza.
I never heard of
And
that.
they were a buffet. They had everything that you could think of on there, and
Yep,
free pop and all this stuff. That's where we used to hang out.
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's crazy to think back on those times, actually. Not in shame, but like we were talking about earlier, it's more of a. I'm totally okay with talking about that. Yeah, I
For
used to be
sure.
ashamed of it. I would like make sure nobody saw, nobody heard it,
Oh,
the whole thing.
I found an 8-year-old picture of me when I was 8. Do you have that, Michael?
Yeah, I can pull it up.
Because this was my Godfather pizza era too. It was pretty funny. So this was me at 8.
Give me a second.
It's so
When
so
did you start
hard.
going to Godfather's? How old were you?
Oh man, I was probably as soon as we moved to Bozeman, I was 6 when we moved to Bozeman. So
Okay. So that was your favorite place from the start.
it was. I loved Godfathers.
Yeah.
I love their sauce, I love their pizza, and I love their buffet. So we would go there, and I would put a hurting on that place. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, my
Well,
brother.
I didn't mean to jump into like straight into the shame thing, but
Absolutely.
when we were talking about that, I was like, I just wanted to put it out there. So
Yeah, well, and what I love, because how I really got onto this top. Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Look at that. That was me at 8.
damn,
I even had the hat back then.
Wow. And the hat back then. I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I look older until you look at that face, and then you're
You
like,
do.
oh.
You look much older than 8. Much older.
Yeah, I remember that shirt because I couldn't sit down in it because the buttons would snap open because it was a snap shirt.
What size shirt was that back then?
I believe that was a 4X. I believe that was a 4X.
8 years old? Wow.
Yeah, and it was an adult 4X. I remember because I used to shop at Crowell West Ranchwear, and if I was lucky, they'd have a 4X, and I could just squeeze into it. But I liked the regular buttons and not the snaps. But I couldn't. Sometimes I couldn't afford them because we're broke.
Right.
And so I had this shirt, and I'd have to suck it in and hold it. I couldn't sit down. If I did, all of my belly would pop off.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I remember being very angry that shirt was busting at the seams, as you can see from the giant belly. So, but yeah, that was 8-year-old Todd.
I'm curious, was there anybody else in your class that was as big or bigger than you?
Well, I was homeschooled, but I had friends, and no, I was the biggest person in my age range in my town and amongst my neighbors. I mean, I never saw anybody as big as me ever.
So you could almost not relate to any other kid, really, or they couldn't relate to you at all.
No, and it was funny, I had friends and stuff, and it was one of those, I don't know, I really, this is why I went to work early, was because I didn't go to school. I think my dad was saving me from the bullying and the things,
Of course.
I was homeschooled, and then when I was about 11 and 12, I started helping Dad and my brother at work as electricians. And then when I was about 13, I just started working full time. And after that, my influences were all older people, grown adults. So it didn't matter. They didn't care. They just were teach me how to work, and that's
awesome.
Yeah, so that's how I kind of skated through that. Me and Michael have talked about that because I was never in a classroom or in a public school a day in my life. I was always homeschooled.
Yeah. Like I told him, he was lucky he didn't have to go through all that.
So you did go through school on yours. Were you the biggest kid in school? Really? Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
And kids were, they were punishing. So when did you start seeing more? Was there, I don't know, to tell me about like was it in lower school, middle school? Where was the more mocking come up from?
Probably in junior high is really when it started. And that's when I started putting the weight on. So I was in fights all the time.
Really?
Defend yourself, Yeah,
of course.
When somebody starts picking on you or something like that, that's how it was back then.
Right.
And so, I was in the principal office every day after lunch break. That's where it would happen, on the playground.
Of course.
Yep.
Yeah.
Run around.
I know my dad always had this. My dad always conditioned us to not care what anybody else thought, so I was actually pretty lucky. I would diffuse the depression and anxiety and things with humor, but But also, I really didn't care what other people thought because I wasn't at school. I didn't get bullied. I didn't have to worry
Never
about that too much.
experienced it, right?
You
Yeah,
never
so
experienced it. Yeah.
luckily, I had a pretty pretty good.
Good childhood, I guess. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I wasn't paranoid about what people thought. I really didn't care. But then when they would say something, I'd pop them.
Okay. You wouldn't have a problem like
Yeah, we
hands
would
on.
go for sure.
That's funny.
And I think of my neighbor. His name was Russell Jazzcoff. I still remember that. And he was next door neighbor, and we were friends, and we would get along. But he took Taekwondo, and when his two little Taekwondo buddies would come over, then he would pretend like he didn't know me. They'd make fun of me because I was the fat kid next door.
Right.
And him and his two little Taekwondo buddies, I pummeled them more than once because they get together and they'd pick on me. And then I would be like, let's go. And I was just so much bigger than all of them.
Right. I'm sure they couldn't take you. So you had several people try to take you at a time, huh?
But
Yeah.
I got in trouble more than once for smacking them around.
Yeah, I'll bet. I'm surprised they're brave enough to take you.
They'd try to team up on me, and they'd try
Yeah.
to kick me and take these little shots and run off because they knew I wasn't. But I'd get hold of
Yeah.
it.
Right.
You're in trouble.
Yeah. Well, actually, my incident, I was actually a very skinny kid, but my thing, I grew up in Haiti, so it was an all black school. And I was the Chinese kid that was the only one that, that was during the time where Enter the Dragon came out in the theater. So guess what everybody wanted to do to me?
Right.
They wanted to practice their Kung Fu skills on me.
Right.
So literally, I had these black kids lined up, and they would take their turn kicking me. Yeah. And I was like, and back then you're kind of confused. You're like, they're laughing and having fun, and they're just kind of doing this. And you're just like, I didn't know how to take it. But, after a few beatings, you're like, I noticed I didn't like it. So I started hiding in the latrines. And when I say latrines, guys, I'm not talking bathrooms like here. Okay. We're talking about there's like a horse trough that's cement, you poop in and you pee in, and every now and then somebody comes in and hoses it like maybe once every other week or something like that. So it stank. So it's not someplace anybody likes to be. So that's where I hid during my lunchtime, just so I didn't get lined up and, kicked around. So that was an interesting, that was very interesting. And then weirdly enough, when I came to the States, it was an all white school.
Completely different. Yep.
Yeah, completely different. I'm the only Asian looking kid there.
Wow.
And I'm like, so, the adjustment it had to take, it was unreal. And of course, I got bullied during that time because I was very naive. I didn't know what sarcasm was.
Right.
Usually we say things, we mean it, right?
Right.
Over here, apparently that's not the case. So I was the butt of the joke for a lot of things. And I had an accent, a pretty thick accent at that time. So yeah, that didn't help much either. So, it's interesting. I mean, we're talking about shame and guilt, but I definitely can see how a little bit of hesitancy, I guess, growing up put a lot of that in me. So, and did it follow with food? I don't know. I can't say that had anything to do with food. Honestly, when I came to the States and I had free access to sodas, I think that's what did it. I really did.
Yeah, the soda.
All that sugar, man.
The soda was absolutely what put all my weight. Like soda would make me hungry. It would keep me hungry. It would just boost my appetite, and everything would just turn to fat as soon as I would eat it. It was crazy. And the worst combination, like if I wanted to be like the world's heaviest person, I would just go on a diet of pizza and soda.
Pizza and soda. That's it. And oh my God, you're calling me out here. That's exactly what I did.
Oh man, that was the worst. That was the easiest way for me to gain. And I don't mean like 5 pounds. I mean like 50 pounds in like a month. I could gain on pizza and soda. It was crazy.
Yeah, for sure with you. But that's the thing. So I was a very skinny kid, right? Yeah. I had a hard time putting on weight, period. When I got to the States, though, I just kept on gradually going, and it just kept on going up and up and up. I mean, the good thing is I was like stocky at first, so I was a little thicker, just a belly, but I just kept on getting bigger, and I couldn't lose it worth a damn,
Right.
so it's very interesting.
Well, and that's why it was fun to see that picture of me when I was 8, because I got rid of most of those pictures. I destroyed them when I was a kid because I hated seeing them, and
Yeah.
I would go to the mom's photo album, find my pictures, and I would rip them up and I'd put them in the garbage can. She would find out about it later and want to kill me, but
I'm glad she kept some.
Yeah, well, that was my brother. He
your brother.
he caught that one and saved it, but I tried to get rid of all the ones I could back then because I just hated seeing it, But now I'm looking at it and I'm like, it just comes with what I know now, especially after reading Dr. Jason Fung's book. It's like, yeah, I was an insulin resistant infant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's all that there was to it. That's the only way you can. That's the only way that 8-year-old me could exist. I was just, it was just born with insulin resistance. I was the last of 6 kids, and they all got bigger and bigger and bigger. And if you follow mom's diet, her diet got worse and more sugar and heavy the longer it went. So yeah, I think we're facing, this is why I tell people, I'm like, no, because some people don't believe that you can even weigh 700 pounds and still move,
Right.
And they say these things, and it's like, no, I wasn't moving well. I was, it sucked. I wasn't feeling good, but I built this frame because I developed through puberty and everything with that frame, with that body. And so that happens, but that's going to become the new normal, the new average. And God knows, maybe it's 20 years, maybe it's 10 years, maybe it's 30 years. I don't know. But if we don't want to see that, we better really start thinking about how we're going to combat, insulin resistant infants and what the parents are eating and what we're going to be feeding our kids, because it's getting out of hand,
Yeah, I mean, it's a curse that weighs on you. So actually, both you and Michael, you guys carry all of that on the outside. For me, it just destroyed my insides. So either way, whether we're looking at or we're not, I didn't get to be 800 or 700 pounds. I got to be 250, which is, for you guys, you're like, oh, I wish I could be there, but it doesn't matter. My inside is totally torn up. I wouldn't wish that part on you at my worst days. They were horrible.
Oh, I believe it. I've said that a lot of times. In a lot of ways, I think people that can be really obese are actually kind of lucky. Because I think when you don't have that option and you have that same, I don't know, diet, insulin resistance and the same metabolic diseases, you end up with, you end up getting an autoimmune disease, you end up with cancer, you end up with arthritis or something, really bad too. It's not, people aren't getting away with it, I guess is what I'm saying. Just because you might not be really big, it's manifesting. The symptoms are just manifesting differently. You're going to have a different problem that's, equally or maybe worse,
I agree.
I think in a lot of ways our weight, I think I could have been a lot sicker had I not been so big. I think the fat cells actually saved me because it gave
you.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I actually really do. And mine, probably, I just could not form those fat cells quick enough. So it just turned inward and poisoned the rest. But what's amazing is that poison for me was, I mean, definitely the soda, I don't know if it's a high fructose corn syrup or what, but Michael, did you drink a lot of soda?
Yeah, growing up. Yeah.
So, because I keep on wondering what was really the combination. I did a lot of microwave food too, so I don't know if that was the same for you guys.
My mom was a good cook, so that's we had homemade food all the time, but large quantities. The whole table would be full. But my mom just didn't make one thing; she made 3 different meals at one time. That's how it was. Coffee cakes. She did desserts and all this stuff.
Were you guys part of the empty plate club? I mean, where
yeah. Same. You weren't allowed to leave the table until the plate was clean. Yeah, never leave food on your table.
Yep.
Yep. I don't know how many times I heard there's starving kids in Africa.
Yep. That's exactly what I heard. Yep.
Yeah. And, I just think, I've been trying to kind of backwards engineer this because we're trying to help people get the freedom that me and Michael and Lindy have had, the food freedom, right? To get over the addiction and to really let things heal. And it's a process, right? And a lot of people struggle for a while, before they kind of find freedom. And so I was trying to walk backwards through my steps. And what I realized, this really all did start with, I had to stop from being, beating myself up and feeling guilty and ashamed. I had to stop that. And I finally got what happened was I got pissed because I found out
Right
that,
there.
yeah, that we were being attacked. Like I didn't realize it, but our food is under attack. Our health is under attack, and they are manipulating us on purpose with addiction. And then they have the calorie in, calorie out thermodynamic hypothesis purposely as a sleight of hand or a blame game so that you won't look at the food that we're eating, because that model says all calories are the same. It doesn't matter if you're getting it through sugary syrup, breakfast cereal, or whatever. If you eat too much of it, you're going to get fat. So if you're fat, it's your fault because you ate too much of it because you don't have willpower, and that's the message they want, because they don't want you to see that there's a nutrients difference between food. And, I was mad because I was like, how in the heck have I been to doctors my whole life? And none of them ever taught me. They didn't teach you, they don't teach you in school. I didn't go to school, but, none of my friends knew this. My parents didn't know this. People that do go to school, they didn't know it, that you eat for fuel, but you also eat for nutrition, for building blocks, for material that's going to repair your tissue, and make it healthy.
Yes.
I wasn't taught that. Everything was about fuel. The thermodynamic hypothesis all focuses on fuel. It doesn't focus on nutrition.
Right.
It doesn't focus on any of that stuff. So they make it just this fuel game. And they do that because they want you to take the blame. Because they don't want you to look at them. And once I realized that, well, then I was mad, and so I stopped blaming myself. I stopped beating myself up. And then I started finding the real culprit. And then when you find that, you find out that you really can't trust anything that the mainstream medical community or dietitians say about food. It's all been a lie. And it's all a giant machine that's been constructed out of propaganda and marketing to keep you addicted and to make money off it, turn you into a product. You're just a little, piggy bank for them, just making them money, a little ATM machine.
I love what you're saying, because if I want to go back, because when I found out with the Procter and Gamble scandal thing, where they found out how to make hydrogenated fats, and it looked like they were selling it for candles initially, and it looked like fat. So they were like, when the light bulbs started coming out, they started nearly going out of business. So they started saying, hey, we could sell this. We just need a scapegoat saying how fat was bad. And that's where it was like, I was like, no, I can't believe people actually fell for that. So then they started selling it like fat in the science lab is good for you kind of thing, And, nowadays we would never say, oh, in a science lab, that would be terrible, right? But really, that's where a lot of our fat's still coming from. That's the crazy part, right? Now we have all kinds of versions of that. So you see that lie, then it promoted that lie, which Procter and Gamble put in money into the American Heart Association. Yes, the same one that exists today, the American Heart Association, and they pumped it how saturated fat was bad for your arteries, and then they actually hired Ansel Keys to be one of the forefront people for it. And you're like, how did it go all of that? And then comes in the sugar company. So it's like we had no chance. It's not like just one point, then all of a sudden the others, and they're raking the bucks on it. The medical industry started making a lot of money because there was a lot more sicker people. Back in the 1920s, I think it was a little late 1920s. That's when cardiologists started coming in the scene. What's interesting is Procter & Gamble came around the 1910s, where they started getting out that fat. Is there a correlation? I can't say there is, but that's quite coincidental. All of a sudden, cardiologists started making money. So there is a hand in hand, you know, this disaster was feeding all these people. It's terrible.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. And, you know, I don't know, you know, I don't think anybody had this disaster plan completely orchestrated. I think there's just a lot of happy accidents that they could make money off of.
That's it.
Right.
That's
And
I
then
think
once they start seeing it,
finance. Yeah.
it's just they just kept doing it worse and worse.
Right.
You know, just look at this. You think you're drinking healthy juice,
right.
and here you got 68 carbs and 57 grams of sugar in there. That's
Exactly.
ridiculous.
Yeah, and it says it's the naked. That's the good one. That's the naked brand. I used to
Naked.
go for that all
But
the time.
good news, it's
Yes.
zero
Yeah.
saturated fat. It's
right.
so
Yeah.
good for you.
And
Right.
it actually comes from you know, those mangoes, 1 1/4 mangoes, the apples or oranges. It's really real in there. But when you see the concentration of sugars, this stuff was not made to be processed at all. This is pure sugar for us.
Oh,
yep.
And not only that, really, seriously, guys. I mean, if I ate that much fruit, I'd be like, I wouldn't want to eat that much fruit anyways.
Right.
So
And then you got pop.
yeah.
Yep.
85 grams of sugar in a 20-ounce bottle. Do you know how many 20-ounce bottles you can knock out in a short time?
Oh, I would knock out 4 before 10 a.m. in the morning.
And guess what? To me, that was sweet. It was not sweet.
Nope.
You would
That's
think
the
it would
weird
be with
thing.
85 grams. in
Right.
it.
You would
Yeah.
think it would be, but that was not sweet.
Yeah.
I used
no,
to eat sugar by the spoonfuls,
right.
you know,
We-
and that wasn't sweet.
Well, and it's so crazy too, right? Because back then our taste buds were so dead. We were so numb to it all, whatever
Yeah.
happened, that, you know, now, I mean, good Lord, if I have apple cider vinegar, it tastes like sugar to me. You know, it just
Right.
like it tastes
Yeah.
like so
Their
sweet. you
taste
know?
buds have changed so much.
Well, they're
It's-
alive again.
We can't drink
Well,
that
nowadays, that's awesome.
stuff that we drink, Dr. Berg's mix. It
No,
tastes so sweet to
sweet.
us. Yeah,
sweet.
it's it's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm amazed at what I think is sweet now. Shoot, sometimes my water, the little soda water I drink, is a little sweet. I'm like, what the
Yeah.
heck, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, and is it just me? I remember when I was trying to get off soda many times when I was a kid that I would try to drink the San Pellegrinos and stuff I drink now.
yeah.
They tasted bitter. They tasted so bitter.
Oh,
to
I
me.
hated them. I was like, there's no way in hell you would catch me drinking some of those. And look at me now. That's all I'm
Yeah.
drinking.
It's all I drink too, and they don't taste bitter at all. You know,
No,
they taste
actually taste a
perfect.
little sweet. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it really is. You can see how the chemicals, the MSGs, whatever that they were putting in that stuff, there had to have been they had to have known what they were doing, that they were killing people's taste buds and they were requiring this crazy amount of sweet and this crazy amount of hyper palatable food to stimulate their taste buds or whatever, to keep getting this high or whatever people get from it. They had to know what they were doing, you know?
And then that's the thing. So I always chase that high. It's funny you say that, because there is a chasing the high. Eventually, that kind of amount of sugar wasn't enough, so I need more. Then I need more, and it was like a drug junkie. Good thing is, I cannot believe my body could have tapped back to this. I'm rather shocked, actually.
Yeah.
That the fact the carnivore diet could just really, put it. I mean, think about the amount of time that we were doing this for our body. 6 years is not much time on carnivore diet to actually regulate this. For you, less than a year. I mean, both of you saw this pretty instant.
Absolutely.
When you felt it regulating. Yeah, you still had the mental processes of the old feel. That's different, and that goes away too, which that I find amazing. So
Absolutely.
Once we get back on track, that's the other reason why I think this diet is so much on track, because it regulates everything. It just puts everything back in homeostasis, balance.
Here we go. This is a good question for you. Well, comment, I should say, for you, Raymond.
Yeah.
Here must be an SBG member.
Cheers.
Oh, I'm having issues with guilt for not making it through level 3 for 2 months now. The guilt and shame is horrible right now. I don't know why. Level 3 months too is incredible. Actually, that's pretty tough. So we're talking about you're in the alternate day fast part. If anything, I'd be patting myself on the back, taking a break, enjoying going backwards at level 2, working my way up. I mean, Monty, that's the thing. When I create these calendars, it's created for challenging ourselves slowly. It doesn't mean you have to complete it. It doesn't make you a failure and that's the amazing part. Let's talk about that, Todd. Our society is so quick to make us a failure when we're not able to achieve a certain level. And all of those don't matter because we're not all the same people. And I always say that it's like, we're not all capable of doing certain things you're better at than I am. I'm better at certain things than you are. All of us have our special skills. That's what makes it wonderful that we're human beings. But instead of shaming us like society does, we should be like, I don't know, praising each other, embracing the difference.
And you should only be measuring yourself to yourself from yesterday, right? That's the only thing you need to do, because nothing matters. I mean, we're all so different. Even me and Michael are way different people, and we're going to go at different speeds, and we're going to have different results. But the biggest thing for me was, and this was another thing that really was good because it made me mad when I realized that all the times that I did a crazy diet and I just did the white knuckle willpower thing for 14 months, 17 months. And it was, and I would get results, but then I'd lose it all, and lose the ground. All that time and effort, if I would have known the truth and I would have been doing this, you put that kind of effort and that kind of try into carnivore, and your body will heal and you will get paid back. You will see the benefit of it, and you will get stronger. You'll get healthier. You'll get stronger. When that happens, you get all the power back. And now it's just like this inertia that builds up, and things get so much easier. Dr. Phil asked me if I do the pizzas or if I stay away from it somewhere in here. I saw, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, this question right here. And no, the answer is no. I'm so free from food addiction now. I don't even have to chase the pizza palette type of thing or any of that old timey food. I used to do that when I was on keto, and that was a detriment to me.
Just too much work too.
Really, so much work.
I mean, it's nutrition. You're just like want to get it over with at this point. You just want to eat just to get it over with.
Exactly. And now, with my diet, I just eat meat. That's it. I mean, I have 6 more days. I'm going to put the eggs back in, but I really plan on doing what I'm doing now, which is just eating beef and eggs for the foreseeable future, because I enjoy it so much. And the good thing is I know that I'm free because I don't not eat the meats because I'm worried about it being whatever anymore. I don't eat that stuff now because everything, even bacon, right? Even bacon is now competing with beef for me because I feel so good on beef. And so now it has nothing to do with flavor even, because every time I go to eat, I enjoy it. I enjoy beef.
You enjoy how you feel afterwards. Yeah, exactly.
And now it's like beef or bacon. Well, I know I'm going to feel fantastic on beef and I'm going to feel like meh on bacon. So it's always beef. The answer is always beef. And I just don't get tired of it. And I know that sounds restrictive to some people, but it really isn't. Once you get into that zone,
it just gets you there.
Yeah.
There's no willpower.
Nope. None.
It's not like you're forcing yourself to pick the beef. Nope. It just does it. Right.
Not at all. The feeling that you get from it starts to work its way into your cravings for it, because you start going, I crave that taste, but I also crave that feeling, if that makes sense.
Right. There's nothing like feeling good. By the way, just to go back on Monty, I want to say one more thing. I'll bet you've been carnivore that whole time. To me, forget the levels. If you're just carnivore, that's the win by itself. And some of the guilt and shame is like, that's probably plaguing you right now is like, oh, I was losing inches and I stopped losing, or I was X amount of weight and I was losing and I was doing great. Now I'm plateaued or whatever, or maybe I'm gaining weight. And that's where the guilt and shame comes in. Why does weight have anything to do with guilt and shame? It is this vehicle that's with us. I always say this. I mean, I know this vehicle is going to take me all through my life, right? And I forget sometimes how I should appreciate that this body is going to take me through my lifetime. And I should appreciate how it looks right now. Why? Because 10 years later, I may be super gray. I may be, much bigger. And I would wish that I was like I was 10 years ago. And
Absolutely.
I hope that I'll look better 10 years from now, but the guarantee of that by looking at most of the population, that's not reality, right? So to me, I look at it like, let me appreciate how I look for me right now. Because I could also say, hey, I look better. Well, I can't say that actually. I wish I could say I looked better when I was 25. I didn't. But anyways, that's just an unusual case. Okay. Because I went carnivore, my body looks like the shape it should have been. I wish I did it back then. And that way I didn't have to worry about this. But that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, let's appreciate what we got for now. And also it's all about the quality of life.
Right. Well, so I want to take that and move on to you said something that really resonated with me where in SPG the other day, and you said, there is no addiction without, guilt and shame. And I totally believe that.
Yeah.
Because that's what I felt too. Because when I go back through all the things that were like the main catalysts or triggers to needing some sort of release through any manner of compulsive addictions, whether it be, like a gambling addiction or caffeine or nicotine or sugar, it was always stemmed from basically a massive amount of anxiety and guilt.
Yes, anxiety. Yes,
Yeah,
guilt and shame. They all followed each other.
they
Yeah.
did. And it's weird because I used to think that was a psychological or a spiritual problem. And I think that there's components of that. But also, I had no idea how physical that was, like how much your brain chemistry and healthy gut microbiome, healthy hormones, and healthy brain chemistry fixes that all on its own.
Yes.
And that's why we are so. I don't know. It makes us when our brain chemistry is screwed up from hormones being screwed up from insulin resistance and metabolic diseases. It's incredible how you're that'll bleed out into everything and make you a very compulsive person.
What made me very interested, though, Todd, was when you actually said that when you were gambling, you're a good gambler. What you were addicted to was that crash, that
Losing.
loss.
Yep.
And I find myself in the binges. That's where I like being. I like feeling low for myself, feeling pity for myself, feeling helpless. And I also would piss off some people to get their anger to be more mad at me. It's like that was an addiction in itself.
Right.
I would self-punish.
Yep. It's
just it's not something I could help. It came from the gut. It's just a sick gut.
Absolutely.
From the wrong nutrients. Because now I don't even, to me, that's so foreign right now. You know what I mean?
I do.
Right? It's like it wasn't me.
Nope. It's like you're looking back and you're looking at yourself on almost drugged up or dulled down or carbon copy like a bad clone.
Right. Like a bad clone. Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird. It really is. But when I was first started doing carnivore, it was so prevalent. Like the chemical changes that I was going through were so crazy that I'd have to, when I was feeling good and there was no anxiety, I'd have to write myself notes when the anxiety would come back because I was like two different people.
You're clear. Yes. So on.
And I'd have to read it because I was telling myself like, this is temporary. This is just an anxiety, and it's just from hormones, and you just need fat. Just go eat. Let this, this will pass. And I mean, because literally it would come on, and you would be like, you could remember just feeling good the day before and not having any anxiety, but you go, I was an idiot for thinking this could last. That wasn't real. This is real.
Right.
And you just go through it. And this is just another thing you're going to fail. This is just another fad diet you're going to gain go back. Like all these things would just be there, just beating. I mean, just as loud as could be in your head. And and then it's just like, might as well eat the pizza, you might as well feel better, and that's literally why I came up with that, what I called the emergency protocol. When my head was like that, I would read my notes that I wrote to me myself the day before to remind myself of what it's like on the good side, and that the good side was the real side, and this is the illusion. This is the trick of the anxiety. And then I would have to go eat bacon and eggs until that went away. And that fat from the bacon and eggs would calm that anxiety down. It was like an anxiety attack.
Absolutely.
It would calm down. I'd come through it, and then I'd be like, whew, that is so convincing.
The weirdest part is I cannot force myself back into that thought. Once it's gone, it's gone. It's like it didn't exist. And you're like wondering, how can that be? How can you be in that state where you can't get out of it, to the state where when you're out of it, you can't get in it if you wanted to?
Right. You can't. You can remember.
You can remember. Yeah.
Yeah. You can remember kind of like
you don't feel
your process, but you can't remember, but you can't feel the darkness that's there.
You can't feel that darkness. Yeah.
No.
And it's funny that because we were talking about depression. That's how depression is for me.
Yep.
Same kind of way. Like I cannot talk myself out of a depression.
Nope.
But when I'm out of a depression, I can't talk myself into a depression. Now, don't get me wrong. There are circumstances like, I mean, I'm sure with Lindy's dog, that would be something that would get me into a depression. So there are certain circumstances that can get me into it, but at least it's a point where I have a choice and I can say, okay, I want to willingly get into it. See what I mean?
For sure. Absolutely. Well, and I think that that's it. Don't you? I think that when we are mentally, I think when you're insulin resistance and you have a metabolic problem, it seems to really stem with always having high insulin, high fasting insulin. Yeah. And I feel like high fasting insulin is very dominant, and it messes up your hormone balance. And when it gets really out of whack, it's just going to mess up your brain chemistry. Plus your gut, your microbiome is going to be messed up, and that's going to screw up your brain chemistry real bad too.
I think the gut and the brain are literally like one unit.
Yeah.
That's how much I really think it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you always feel it coming from the gut first, right?
Oh yeah. You feel the guilt in the pit of your gut. You feel anxiety in the pit of your gut.
That's where I feel it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Worry. Yeah.
Worry. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
All of that. Yeah.
And so now that I recognize that, because I had no idea that was going to, getting rid of that anxiety and getting rid of that depression and getting rid of that guilt and that shame also got rid of my compulsive nature, which in turn got rid of caffeine. It got rid of sugar. It got rid of nicotine. It got rid of gambling. And it just got rid of my compulsive nature, period. I had a compulsive nature with whatever I did. I had no patience. Right. Everything had to be right now. It had to be 110% or 150%.
Yep.
No easing into anything. Everything was full throttle on. Go for it till you crashed.
All off. Yep.
Yeah. And you would do it and you'd crash and burn every time. And I did that with everything my entire life. It didn't matter what it was. And now it's funny. I still have the drive, and I like to kind of dream big and to see big things, but I'm way more calm about it now, way more patient. I don't have to be compulsive about anything, and nothing has a hold of me. And that was literally from diet. It wasn't from anything else. It was from what I was eating.
It's not like you meditated on a mountaintop to get this thing,
No. Nope.
That's not what I did.
Nope.
All of this just started regulating itself by itself. It's the freakiest thing. This is why I keep telling people over and over again, if I stayed the same way, I even looked the same, but I had this freedom, I'd still do this.
Exactly. Absolutely. And so I don't know. I find it pretty crazy. Hey, we're going to get to you guys' questions now, but I wanted, Raymond's only got an hour, so we got another 15 minutes of him. So that's why I haven't been focusing on comments and questions just yet, because I want to get the most out of Raymond while he's here. But I'm going to look through the questions. There's a lot of comments we got started here, but I'm going to go through the ones and see if there's any for Raymond before we lose him.
Of course, you can answer them too,
for sure. But I definitely will. But let's see. Do you see any that are popping out to you for Raymond? Michael?
I'm looking. One about SPG.
Oh yeah, that's sweet. The beauty of SPG levels is to find your groove in the spectrum of carnivore feasting and fasting. Each of us has a meat spot. I love that. Can't be a sweet spot. That's nice, Dr. Phil. Awesome.
As
I love how
knows,
you
man.
did that.
That's so
Yeah, he
true.
does. Yeah.
Here's a quick one. Have any if you
Soda
have
water, does your throat start to hurt? You guys had that?
no
Too many.
yeah, I'm the extreme example of that because
Do you
I've
chug
had
it?
I do all the time. But that's
Oh.
seriously why I do it, is because I love the burn in your throat from
I
the,
do too. Yeah.
that's why I do it.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it burns, but it doesn't last. Like it's not a
It
lingering
doesn't
thing.
hurt. No.
No.
Yeah. It's a tingle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I would just suggest maybe, I don't know. Don't get me wrong, the soda fizzy itself is kind of like a little bit of addicting. So to me,
yeah,
this
it
is
is
a treat. Yeah, this is a treat. So there goes Todd.
It's not a treat for me. I drink anywhere from like, and these are the 25-ounce bottles. I drink anywhere from 6 to 12 of those a day.
Yeah.
I put them down. So
I think there's a question that just came out now for me.
pull that up. There we go.
I work from home. Okay, so Raymond, what do you think about rebounding and it's aiding weight loss? I work from home and walk, but sometimes I have a hard time getting to exercise. So, under rebounding part, what I really believe, because first of all, it's bouncing up and down. So, Michael, you have a shake plate, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And I think it's kind of the same. All it does is it moves fluid, moves your lymphatic, but Michael, you probably could talk about that more. So I think rebounding works kind of similar.
According to, Lindy knows it better than anybody else, and she's got one out of the three of us, but she loves it. And I think it's all going to depend on what stage you're at. I know I can't use a rebound.
Great point.
I'm way too heavy, and I'm over all the weight limits.
Right.
So for me, the vibration plate is what I think is working the best. And Todd knows that his muscles all cramp up and stuff. And when he uses his,
you do a rebounder, Todd?
No,
no, I have a shake plate.
You have a shake plate too? Okay.
But I am getting a rebounder after listening to Lindy. But so here's a funny thing. I went from being stuck in a recliner for 2.5 years and really hadn't been out of the house much in about 4 years now. And so I went to a buddy's though, and I played pool all night with him for about 16 hours. And I was sore. In fact, I was a little bit, it was a slap in the face because I was like, how did I just get sore playing pool? I used to play pool all the time, but it was just because I stood on my feet and bent over this pool table for 16 hours.
I guess
I'm not used to it,
and I hadn't done that for so long, and I thought I was in. I do the hit axle, and I've been doing yoga and stuff, but I do that for 30 minutes at a time. I haven't done that
not that long
for 16 hours in a long time.
Right.
So I was sore, but I was also extremely happy to be that sore because you would not believe. I mean, DC told me something the other day. I think he said you're the metamorphosis body type, so you're going to build muscle quick. I think is what he called it. Well, my legs swelled up, and I built so much leg muscle just in that one day. It was stupid.
That's unreal.
Yeah, like my quads and they just got. You could just feel them like busting through the fat layer.
It's great that it responds that fast. That's amazing.
It did. And when I did that, I lost a bunch of fluid. At first, when I was sore for the first 3 days, my legs got packed with fluid. I got a bunch of fluid on me, but then I lost it. And so what I was saying is I can definitely see I'm excited to do the rebounding now because I need more of that big muscle movement and more of that lower body pump. And so what's really cool about it is they say that 5 minutes on a rebounder is equal to 20 minutes of walking. So you get so much more of a pump in your lymphatic system, and your lymphatic system drains so slowly.
Mhm.
Like, I think they say it takes about 2 minutes for one full circulation of a lymphatic fluid. So it's about duration. So you really need to be able to put some time in there and get some of, you need a good pump for a good amount of the day to really start working your lymphatic system and opening it up. And if you have a stubborn weight too, it's going to be real hard to lose if your lymphatic system's not
Things
pumping.
aren't moving. That's
Things-
right. You're
yeah,
trying to get it to move.
you got
Yeah.
to get it to move. So I think that that is probably the perfect tool to start with. Like, I'm
love
looking
it.
forward to it because I honestly, I'm gonna just admit that I was kind of cocky and I thought I was beyond the rebounding because I thought I was in better shape than that now because I was doing the hit axle and I'm
Right.
not having a problem being active. But when I got sore just from the
And playing
crap,
pool, yeah,
it,
you notice that takes a little movement.
yeah, it brought me right back to reality.
This is what I really love. I've always said this. I'm not a big fan of exercise. I'm kind of like Kilt on that one, but
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of movement.
yeah,
Okay. And
absolutely.
rebounding is more on the movement size. Exercise is where you're getting your heartbeat really high and then you're getting to sweat. There can be, don't get me wrong, I was stuck in that little mindset too. Now I'm more into the movement piece. Yeah, I'll sweat a tiny bit. So it does get to the point of exercise, but I really try not to push it purposely because I believe that's safe for the hunt. Yeah, every now and then it's great to do like a little burst here and there. But I think as long as we pay attention and get ourselves to move throughout the day is probably the most important thing we can do.
Yeah, totally. And anything, I think it's just like the carnivore diet though, too, right? The movement should be it needs to be kind of fun. It needs to be something you like so that you'll keep doing it. If you want it to be sustainable and you want it to be a new habit, it should be something that's not going to make you double over and be, like honestly, I love playing pool. So I was like, I was kind of excited about it because I'm like,
Yeah,
I used to play a
it's a
ton of
passion.
pool when I was, yeah. So I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, this is a good, easy movement that it would be something to do to just kind of be used to being on my feet, 12
yeah,
hours a day instead of, not sitting down and stuff. Cause I work at a computer and that's really what it was just, holding 480 pounds for, on your feet. That's what it was. Cause that's a workout.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I just gotta get back to that. But so I could definitely see the rebounder being a good step into the right direction for that, kind of easing you in there.
Yeah. And I love what Lindy said. She's not doing it for weight loss. She's doing it because it gets her body moving, so and gets the lymphatic, and you can feel it, the strength in the core and the muscles. Weight loss is a bonus. It really is. When the body's ready to shed the weight because it doesn't need to protect ourselves from itself, then it'll let it go. That's what I believe. So if we keep focusing on that weight loss because of whether it's vanity or whether it's shame, whatever it is,
Raymond, I
let that go.
have to
Yeah.
agree with you because I got right now I'm fighting COVID. My mom got it and I have it. And since I got sick on COVID, and I got kind of stressed out when I was sick,
You gain some.
I gained a bunch of weight and it's clearly
Yeah.
fluid because I
Yeah.
didn't even eat for 2 days. I fasted through it
Right.
and I gained a bunch of weight. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Fluid, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like it's clearly your body when your body's stressed and sick
Yeah.
and
Yes.
going through something, you're
Yes.
not going to lose anything. Your body holds on to everything.
Because it doesn't understand what's going on in your life right at that moment.
Right.
You know?
And it's not doing this because it hates you. I mean, it's doing this to protect you. But we think of it like, oh my God, I've done something wrong. This is me. This is my fault. And it's not. It's like, let your body do its thing. As long as you know how to feed it properly, stop listening to propagandas and stuff like that. Eat meat,
Absolutely.
things will work.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny. Wow, one of these days we're gonna have a naysayer comment thing again too, because the comments are so hilarious on that stuff. But anymore, man, my message is just it's not doing us any good to beat ourselves up. And by the way, we're gonna go into a lot more on guilt and shame. Well, it's just
If you guys want to hear it,
yeah,
let Todd know.
absolutely.
I can come back and we'll talk about it.
absolutely, because we're going to keep doing this, because I think this was kind of the introductory to it. But I really do believe that that you're right there, Raymond. I don't know, in my life, I don't think I had any addictions that didn't spawn from anxiety, that spawned from guilt and shame. And I don't want to go, I'm not trying to preach to anybody, but I think that that's one of the longest tricks. I think
Yes.
that these companies are doing it. I mean, if you look at the Bible talks about dead works. That comes from us wanting to punish ourselves. That comes from staying bondage to guilt and shame. And I think that's one of the oldest conditions of humanity, that we easily fall into that
Straight from the Garden of Eden.
Yeah, exactly. Quite literally, right?
Yeah, quite literally. Yeah.
Since the beginning of what I believe, I think that's one of the most common things, to beat ourselves up, to hold ourselves responsible. Which is why it's so crazy that everybody's like, you got to take responsibility. You got to, hate yourself and do all this stuff. You hear some of these motivational speakers talk that way, and it's like, we do that just fine in our natural default setting.
I was going to say, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. I couldn't hate myself more than, well, I don't know how other people do it, but I'm sure they do. But I don't know if I could do it any more than I did.
Yeah, absolutely. We are the hardest on ourselves. We are pretty miserable to ourselves that way. And it really is funny, because we got to let that go. And some of it comes from arrogance, to think that we really matter that much too.
Thank you. That's right, Todd. Yeah, that we're really that important or something.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. We got to humble ourselves and go, look, I'm just an imperfect human being, and I'm going to make mistakes.
And that's okay.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
Just like everybody else, and we're going to work through it. And just kind of humble yourself to not think that you're that important to the system here.
We have one life. Okay. First of all, we're just a bleep of that experience in that life. Really and honestly, if we take ourselves that seriously, we're going to miss that magic of life. That little moment that we get to experience, we're going to totally miss it, because we were stuck in these fear, guilt, shame. We missed the whole ride.
I know I missed out on a lot.
Absolutely. My brother says it all the time. He goes, I think when we go to heaven, we're going to find out that Earth was supposed to be like summer camp, and we were supposed to be down here carefree like children.
Right.
And we're just supposed to be having fun with each other, loving each other, having a good time, learning carefree. And he said, we screwed it all up by taking on all this responsibility for what God's got under control, thinking that we matter so much to the system of everything, that we take on all this guilt and shame and worry and anxiety, and we don't have to take any of that on. Like, this is not, we're not in charge of this.
If we just, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think it is built from food. At least in my case, it was.
For sure.
Once the food got in right, I can see actually clearly and see how these don't serve me at all.
Absolutely.
This was holding me down from seeing the magic of what's going on out in this world.
Yep. Absolutely. I totally agree. Yeah. And like I said, I think it's the, like I said, I don't try to preach to anybody on here, but this is the lens that I've seen things through. So when I started seeing things, when the food healed me, right, and my chemicals got a little more balanced or whatever, then I could see how I was bringing that my nature into that thing, right? Like the nature to beat myself up, how that was keeping me hooked to these foods, and that thinking, right? Because like I said, when I used to think that I was just broken, or I was, abnormal, and that's just the way I was, because like that picture, I didn't see anybody else as big as I was. Nobody was as big as me. There was no, so that made me think I was, set aside, and I was just different and broken. And when I was doing that, I was not, it's like putting the wrong guy in prison. One, you're beating up the wrong guy, but two, you're not going after the real culprit. You're not fighting the real problem, because you think you got it, So when I was beating myself up, I wasn't looking at my food environment. I wasn't looking at the doctor's recommendations of calorie restrictive diets and low fat diets. I never suspected those, because it was me, you know?
Yeah. And it was a whole Stockholm syndrome too. It's like I protected the very food that was harming me, and also protected the very doctors that were telling me that that it was my fault. I believed them,
Exactly.
and that's the worst part. But hey, yep, I'm on time, so I'm gonna
No
have to
worries.
get going. So thank you for having me
Yeah,
here. Hopefully
heck
we'll do
yeah.
this again. Depending on if everybody liked it. So really appreciate
Absolutely.
you guys.
Appreciate it so
Todd,
much.
Michael. All right.
Appreciate it so much. You have a good day,
Thanks
and
for
we'll see you
hopping on,
next week
Raymond.
in the
Thank you.
SPG.
All
Yep.
right. Take care. Bye bye.
See ya.
Take care.
I appreciate you guys. We're gonna here. Let's go back up and get the starred comments. Let's.
Here, I just want to just with this one here with Mr. Bigglesworth here. He's only been doing carnivore for 22 days and he lost 18 pounds.
Congratulations, man.
And it's completely off insulin. That
dude,
right there, you know how huge that is? That right there is bigger than the 18 pounds loss.
right, like let's put this in perspective. Seriously, right? The heck with the weight, but the insulin. If your doctors had gave you a pill that got you off of insulin and made you lose 22 pounds in 18 days, they would plaster you on the side of billboards because you would be the success story for their magic pill.
Yes.
Be
all over TV.
Yeah, it would be miraculous. You would be the $10 million man for that magic pill. But because it's the carnivore diet and there's no money in it, the doctors will tell you that they're worried about your diet. That's how this is what I talk about when you stop feeling the guilt and the shame and you start going to this and you start seeing just the common sense of it all, knowing that if there was a pill that could make you lose 22 or 18 pounds in 22 days and get off your insulin.
There is a pill, Todd, and it's called meat.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It really is. It's so crazy though when you really put these things in perspective. You don't have to sit here. You start to see the propaganda, because I don't know. Some of you may not know my story, but when I'd lost, I was stuck in a chair on oxygen, had congestive heart failure, and my lungs were just abysmal. And in just about 7 months, I had gotten off all the oxygen. I mean, I was a completely new person. And I talked to my cardiologist, and that was the first time that he told me he was worried about my diet. He wasn't worried about my diet when I was over 700 pounds in the hospital. He was fine with my diet. But when I got off all of his drugs, and I was just a success story, was off oxygen, no congestive heart failure, lost over 200 pounds by when I talked to him next. He didn't care. He was worried about my diet when I told him I did that with carnivore. So that's what you got to keep in mind, because these guys are insane drug pushers.
They don't have something to sell.
Nope. They don't have anything to sell. Healthy people, they don't make a lot of money. And like, it's not all doctors. I'm not trying to put all doctors under that same umbrella. A bunch of them are doing this, but they have been indoctrinated like we have to the propaganda. And so they see it's so crazy that the indoctrination is so bad. When they hear that you're eating all this red meat, it doesn't matter that you just saved your life. It doesn't matter you got off all the drugs. It doesn't matter that you're exponentially more healthy. They really believe in what they're taught, and they just don't realize they've been indoctrinated because, all this medical or all the dietary issues and dietary and nutrition training is what I'm trying to say, is all bought and paid for by big pharma and big food through epidemiology studies, which are basically just opinion pieces that are drafted to put everything in that kind of light, to keep you purchasing this terrible stuff, right? So it's not that my doctors are all terrible people trying to hurt me. They are literally just crafted and molded into this system, and they think that they're doing good, but it's just like that's why I literally told my doctor, I think you need to see a doctor, doc, because your brain's not working, because you cannot see what's standing right here in front of you.
They're blind to it. Yeah.
Right. He should have been asking me, what did you do? Because that's a miracle. Like,
and start researching it. That's what people do.
Right.
Nothing is fixed. Nothing is fixed. Everybody has to go and look into stuff and see ways around something. There's no one way to do something.
There's not. And if he was being honest, and if it wasn't an ideological indoctrination, I don't know, filter that they're looking through, they would be able to objectively stand back and look at what happened in front of them and go, all right, that's weird. That's not supposed to work that way. It's supposed to be bad. But
you see, that's only one person. When you start having more and more people doing it,
they can't
and
ignore it.
you can't. No.
Right. And, and the thing is, with me, I'm like, honestly, I've been going to the doctor since I was 9 years old, since a little bit after that picture. Right. And so in my mind, you guys, the medical community had 30 years. They had a 30-year shot, and I got exponentially sicker and bigger and more suicidally depressed and full of anxiety. And it was miserable. I didn't get free until carnivore. And I didn't get free until I learned the system that, basically the enemy that I was fighting, that was coming after me, that was, that was coming at me with all barrels, with, between advertising and, the white coat doctors that are all telling me that, you got to get healthy, but don't eat fat and meat. Well, it was the fat and meat that I needed to eat the entire time that got me healthy.
Out of all the diets we've ever been on, nothing has given us what carnivore has done.
No, I mean, I am 6 days shy of 15 months of not having a single incident of falling off the wagon, not one in 15 months. That is unheard of for me in my entire life. But the best part is none of it was white knuckle. Maybe the first 5 weeks was hard, but none of it's been white knuckle. I'm not an addict anymore, and I don't have,
cravings and
no cravings. That food freedom that Lindy talks about, that off switch.
The thoughts in your head. It's no longer in our heads. How many times a day do you think about food?
Oh, dude, I only when I start going, my energy level's down. I think I need to eat. That's it.
I look at the clock and I say, okay, I need to eat something for breakfast, and then I need to eat something for dinner, or if I'm doing OMADs or whatever I'm doing.
Right.
It's no longer in there. It used to always be in there. That little voice in the back of your head saying, "Got to go eat something. Got to go."
Dude, I would go to bed excited to hurry up and fall asleep so I could get up and eat
Wake up and eat something again.
Yeah,
I know.
Because I'd be like, oh, I can't eat any more junk tonight and sleep on it. But in the morning, I'm going to have, I got that leftover pizza. I'm going to warm that up. And then I'm, just junk. I'm going to have sodas,
It's because we were all addicted to it, just like a drug addict would, or an alcoholic or whatever. That's exactly what it was.
Absolutely. Todd, I think you're the one who said to tap the egg. Yeah, tap the round part of the egg until you hear it crack. That does work.
You'll hear a little pop.
Yep. That's awesome. I'm glad you tried it. Sorry that we're so behind on the comments. I'm gonna go through these right now, a little rapid fire round, because we wanted to get the most out of Raymond while he's here. Lindy, I was a chubby kid. I spent most of my time shy and quiet, avoiding the other kids because I felt out of place. Never raised my hand. Didn't want to draw attention to myself. Yep. Not a nice place. Exactly. I was spared that.
Lucky.
I definitely was. Steve Austin, 200 pounds. Steve Austin, the wrestler. I think Steve Austin's like.
He was talking about the $7 million man.
Oh, that guy. Oh man, I'd be lucky to be that dude.
Or is it $6 million man?
$6 million man, I believe. You yourself having problems with dysmorphia. Do I have just one wonderful changes you three have had, but do you still think of yourself? Yeah, absolutely. Like one's tough.
That's the last thing that's going to go. The body changes come, but the mind still thinks that you're exactly where you were before.
And honestly, I kind of like it in a way, because you get in positions that shock you, and then it's fun to notice it, like to shock you out of it, to shock you outside, shock your brain out of it. So like when I go through doors, I still turn sideways and I do this like walkthrough thing, because I don't have to anymore. It's not like I got bunches of room. I still got weight to lose, but like it was a necessity for me to turn sideways before, and now I don't have to, but I still do it every time. And it's certain things.
It's just like with Lindy. She still says when she goes out, she has to look for chairs that don't have arms. And that's something that she doesn't have to worry about no more.
When I was at my buddy's house, I was checking out all of his furniture because I was like, oh,
looking for the strongest ones.
Exactly.
I know.
And all of a sudden, it didn't matter. I was like, everything held me just fine. And it was all, but, 15 months ago, I would have turned all of his stuff into toothpicks. So,
You know, when I did go out, my ex-girlfriend, and we would go to a restaurant or something for the first time, a new place just opened up. I would have to send her into the restaurant first to check the chairs out.
right. I know.
Because if they don't have good chairs, I'm not going in there because
How
that's the
about if
last
you
thing
went in there and they only had booths?
Yeah. Or chairs only with arms or really
Yeah.
cheap chairs. The last thing I would want to do is to fall on my ass
Yeah,
in front of all those people. It would just kill me.
absolutely. Totally.
Or another fear that I had was going into a restaurant that was too busy. Too many
Yeah,
people in
absolutely.
there. I hated that.
Yeah, absolutely, Adam. Of course, the powers that be want us to keep, or want to keep us taking the blame, because the class action suits. Yeah, I mean, it would shut everybody down. Would bankrupt the world. Yeah, like it would be. If the blame was squarely put where it belonged, like the amount of lawsuits and fallout to our economy and to like, oh man, I couldn't even imagine. I mean, when you really think about it, what they've done to our food environment, and between our food that they've screwed up and drugs that they've been giving everybody for it, it's responsible for more loss of quality of life and loss of life and suffering than all the world wars put together and all all genocide and communism. I mean, it's the greatest. It is probably the greatest suffering and loss of life that our species has ever seen, if you're really looking at it. Even when I was over 400 pounds, I was still mobile and active. Yep. I even started taking martial art classes at my heaviest. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I like people to speak up on that, because I just have so many people that are like, how could you ever, they think if you're 600 pounds, you can't work. And it's like, and I get it, because there's some people that get heavy later in life. So they develop with a normal size, 160-pound, 180-pound body, whatever. And then in their adult, maybe they get to 25 or 30 and then they put on a bunch of weight. That's really hard on those people when they get to 600 pounds, because they're not built for it. But, just like I like this picture, because I get a lot of flack for saying that, I was a couple 100 pounds when I was, around 6 or something. Well, that's me around 8, and I'm clearly 250 to 280 pounds in there. And I'm like, yeah, that's where I was. Maybe I was 180. I don't know. I wasn't walking around with a scale. I wasn't too happy about
You
it.
didn't want to get on the scale in the first place. Yeah.
No, it's like, I'm just kind of giving you a range that I was always big. And people think that that's incredible, like impossible. And it's like, no, it's not impossible. It's probably, clearly I'm on a dramatic side of the bell curve, but that's how those things are. I drank a lot of soda just before starting carnivore, but not so much as a kid. That's good. I mean, breakfast cereals and soda are the worst things we do to our kids. It's
And
crazy.
I just want to pull this picture up for anybody that just came in. This is the
Yeah.
picture that we're talking about. This is Todd when he was 8 years old.
Yeah, that was 8-year-old chubby me. I was very mad because that was the biggest shirt I could find at Corral West Ranchwear, which was my favorite ranch and home supply store. And I look like I might be 15 in that picture until you look at that ridiculous face.
Yep.
And I have the Porky the Pig nose there. Wasn't good. This is proof too that I've always wore a hat. And that is a Resistol. I remember being very proud of that hat. That's my white scarferchief too, because that was really important to be a cowboy back then. You had to have a red scarf around your neck. And I particularly hated this shirt because it was the biggest one. I believe it was a 4X at Corral West. And it had snap buttons, my enemy.
Yeah. They always pop.
Yeah, as soon as I sat down, it was all belly that was flopping out of that shirt. And I was very unhappy, because I do believe this was around a holiday, and we all had to dress up and go over to my brother's house. And I really couldn't sit down without my belly flopping out of that shirt. And that's why when people ask me, they're like, it's not carnivore that made you lose the weight. It's because you started eating less. And I think to myself, so you don't think that I ever tried a calorie restrictive diet before, huh? Since I was that size and that age, I've been trying to do calorie restrictive diets and was unsuccessful. Like that's been a lifetime of those things, I drank a lot of soda we just did that one. Sorry. Pull that one out of there. I never subbed a lot of soda, fizzy drinks unless it was wine or beer, or unless it was beer. It wasn't a thing in New Zealand when I was a child, when it became a thing. I think she means thing. Yeah. Well, then you guys are lucky because that stuff is absolutely the devil. It is super addictive. When I was at primary school, 5 to 11 years old, when I started 5 through 11 years old, when I started playing rugby, we used to do weigh-ins in front of all the other boys. Yep. My cousin and I were always weighed the heaviest. Always been, been ashamed. Yep. Yeah, and that stuff, man. When you're outside of the average, it puts a target on you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we did the same thing when I went to school.
Yeah. Lindy says, "Oh, Keith, I used to get weighed in PE class 2. Yep. I blocked that out of my head. Yep. It was traumatizing. I was always the heaviest." Yeah, I remember, people are like, how do you know that you weighed 600 pounds? Well, because when I was like 13, 14, somewhere in there, my dog, we had a Great Dane named Honeycomb. She got sick and we had to take her to the vet. And we had a kind of a country vet that would work on livestock and horses and stuff too. And anyhow, the Great Dane was about 70-pound dog. So she walked out to the barn where they weigh the horses, and there's a big scale out there that they put horses on. And I was with my mom, and Honeycomb was my dog. And they said, let's put her on the scale, see how much she weighed. Well, Honeycomb wouldn't sit still on the scale. She was just running around, and they couldn't get a reading on her. And so we couldn't get her to sit still. So they said, well, why don't you hold her, because I was a young kid. You hold her, get on the scale, and then we'll put it down. And when I got on the scale with me and Honeycomb, it was well over 600 pounds, almost 700 pounds with me holding the dog. And I was on this big horse scale. And when I stood up on that, my mom, the veterinarian's eyes and my mom's eyes all got big, and you could see the kind of shock on their face. And I'm just hating life. And I'm sitting here going, I hope this dog weighs 300. Because then I took her off and they weighed me, and I was 595 pounds. And I was in some sort of shock because up to that point, I hadn't weighed in forever. And I was thinking that, I literally was saying, I probably weigh 300, 350. And I was 595. And, which made sense why nothing fit. But that was a pretty bad day. I was pretty much, spun out into a pretty depressed, hating life, hating myself, just not wanting to be here. That went on from that day for a long time. It was ignorance was bliss until that day. It really was. Lindy, I blocked out how much I weighed on the scales at that time, trying to remember it, but I can't see the numbers yet. Absolutely. No, I remember those days too. Kids are cool, Sandra. There was a kid who got picked on regularly for having skinny legs. They chased him around the yard, calling him chicken legs. Felt bad for him. No one, yeah, it's pretty crazy stuff. Oh, no, we did that one. No, I don't have that issue. Born in 1960, I've seen all this throughout my life. Lies. I was 57 before I found the PhD ketogenic way of eating. Absolutely, and thank God we all did, huh? Only measure yourself against yourself yesterday. Absolutely. I think it's the only way to do it and keep everybody else out of the equation, really. Thank you so much. She appreciates the insight. I get that Todd pretty much eat the same thing day in and day out. Yeah, exactly. And like I talk about, I do eat the same thing day in and day out, but I have some spices and stuff that I'll use sometimes, like rosemary and thyme and stuff. But I don't even and I'll have some Tabasco sauce now.
Or
But I don't
jalapenos
even
once
eat,
in a while. But
yeah, jalapenos in once in a while, but I don't even eat them every day. And the reason isn't because I feel like I shouldn't eat them every day. I think I'd be completely fine eating them every day. But one of the reasons that I don't eat them every day is because I like them to be a treat. Because
right,
if
something to look
something's,
forward to.
yeah, something to look forward to, because if I make that my new normal and I get palate fatigue on the things, on the special things that I can have, well then all of a sudden you need to find something further to reach out, and that's how things snowball. So I save some of these things right now just so that, if I'm feeling like it's getting a little bit mundane or whatever, I'm getting a little bit of palate fatigue, and I throw a little Tabasco on there, or I have a pickled jalapeno here or there.
Mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, but if I did that every day, I wouldn't have that trick. And so it's
Right.
just something I choose to do, but I really like it. And if you're getting palate fatigue and you're not hungry, the best thing to cure palate fatigue is a fast. You fast for a day or two, and you'll get over the meat aversion pretty quick. You know what I mean? Like you're going to be happy to have that ribeye or whatever it is that you had
And
a
exactly.
aversion to.
Yep.
Yeah. I would eat by myself because I could gorge on whatever food I wanted, but the guilt and shame that followed after that was nearly unbearable. Absolutely. Yep. And I think, and it's like, why? That's what's so stupid. See, we were doing that because our body was really starving for nutrients, and we had a sick gut microbiome. We were metabolically sick. And so we had a lot of reasons that we were doing that. But one of the reasons that we're doing it is because we're only ever taught to really think about fuel. We weren't taught as much to think about nutrients, the fat that our body needs to balance our hormones, and that our brain's made out of, and to get the correct amount of protein. We weren't taught that we need that, and so we kept feeding it these cheap, empty carbohydrate calories,
Yep.
and our body was screaming out. I mean, the same type of intensity that your body, if you're trying to hold your breath and your body's telling you to breathe, it's telling you to eat because it needs this protein, it needs this fat, it's looking for it. And we beat ourselves up and feel ashamed that basically it's like, oh, I couldn't hold my breath all day is what you're basically doing. I mean, it's akin to that. I mean, it's crazy. And if we understand what's really happening to us, we don't have to carry that around anymore. We can kind of go, it gives us time to heal. That's why I think on carnivore we're not in such a big hurry to do it anymore, and it doesn't have to happen overnight. Before, when all the calorie restricted models, you need you need something to happen quickly because that this isn't sustainable.
Right.
You can only do it for so long. It's wearing you down. Sorry, I'm trying to do a rapid fire. Get caught up here. I'm down 168 pounds with 80 more to lose one day at a time. Susan, that is incredible. I mean,
That's awesome, Susan.
yeah, you're doing freaking amazing. Yeah, that is so good. And the fact that it's just comfortable and that you're just sailing through it, and now, that it's inevitable that you will get that weight off. It's incredible.
This
Do
would
you
have been a
see
good question for Raymond.
missed it? Um let's see. Do you see postmenopausal women having trouble keeping muscle on? Man, oh, this would also be a really good question for like Amy, I don't think so. I mean, I think Amy's postmenopausal and she's muscles, right?
We call
She's
her
ripped.
muscles. Yes.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. Definitely not the expert in dudes here. That question, but I think I don't know. Is Laura in SBG? Do you know? Do you see her there? I feel like I've
Uh,
seen her name.
I've seen her name before, but I can't remember if it was in our chat or if it was in SBG.
Yeah, definitely check out. So Amy K is one of the coaches over at SBG, and she's what do you know how old Amy is? She's in her 50s, isn't
She's
she?
in her 50s, yeah. So I would think she's going through menopause right now.
She's going through menopause right now. She's in her 50s, and she's all into weightlifting and is all ripped. So
Yes.
she would definitely be a place to start there with that question. All right, let's see here. Sorry. Oh, here we go. Did you get that from Lindy there in the WhatsApp, Michael?
Let me see.
She gave a spot for Laura to join too.
Okay.
To get more information on that.
For Meat Sisters.
Yeah, Meat
Yeah,
Sisters.
I'll post that out.
There we go. Question from Keith: do any of you feel there are any external influences that contribute to guilt and shame? I don't think so. I don't think for me as much. I mean, just the external influences would be not wanting to, like hiding food type of thing. Cause, externally you get judged. And when you're really big, you can't really eat in front of people because you are super paranoid about it.
You don't want people to see you eat.
Yeah, you don't want them.
Nope.
No, because it doesn't matter if you're eating a crouton or a carrot.
Or a piece of fruit. You don't, yeah. Or a salad or something. You still don't want people to see it.
Right. It's just the perception that's putting, what people are thinking or what you think that they're thinking anyways, and it's not good. Sorry for your loss, Lindy. It's heartbreaking. My 18-year-old pet died recently also, and I am heartbroken. All of you are an inspiration to us all. Let's see. Thank you for all that you do for all of us. Oh, thank you so much. Yep. And we are all thoughts and prayers with Lindy today, because that is a tough one. I've ordered some resistance bands online, looking forward to strengthening my muscles slowly but surely. Absolutely. Man, Keith, I am addicted to those resistance bands. They make my back and my shoulders feel so good. It's my favorite part of waking up now is actually doing those. And things crack and snap and pop.
Snap, crackle, and pop, right?
Oh, it does. I do the one where you take the resistance bands, you stretch them out like this, and then you pull them way back here like that, and just everything just starts going crack and pop. But it feels so good when my upper middle back kind of loses all that tension, and oh man, it feels good. Just mom on a mission. Yep, optimal health. Absolutely. Only took 50 years to find it, but doing it finally. Absolutely.
If only we would have found it sooner.
Exactly. Lindy, you're so amazing. My 41-year-old daughter is over 500 pounds on keto, but is not working anymore. I am here. I'm her caregiver. She won't go to carnivore. We are praying for her, Susan, pray. But you know what, Susan? You are such a role model for her. You're losing so much weight and you're getting healthy that you are going to be.
Definitely got to see it on you. So
yeah, and you are going to be the example. They're just scared, but you're going to be the example. And she has to get to the point where she wants to live,
Exactly. That's where we all been.
Yep. Absolutely. She's doing really good. She's down, I think, 71 pounds now, the last I checked. And her whole family's basically doing carnivore. I just got her another. She has me when I order meat for myself. She has me order up her strip loin roast, and I cut it into steaks for her and everything. And I was sick today. I got the Rona. Oh, I was like, I don't know if I should be handling your meat today. I said, how about we try tomorrow and I'll cut it up. Because I feel like I might still be a little contagious today, and I don't feel like breathing on everybody's meat. So we're gonna postpone that. But no, she's doing great, and she's loving it. She's free. She found the same freedom that we all did here, just not having these issues anymore, not being weak to the cravings or the sugar and being able to just do this. And she just gets healthier every day now.
Absolutely, Lindy.
Absolutely. Carnivore equals off switch.
That off
Food.
switch is amazing.
It is essential for sure. Loving the conversation. I thought you said carnivorsation. Conversation, guys. It says I can still resonate with what you're saying. Yep. Absolutely. It's a good conversation, and we meant we're gonna have Raymond on some more again, and let us know in the chat if you like this conversation. I think that it really is the beginning, because I didn't start finding, and again, this is just me, and it's not meant to preach to anybody, but it is my journey. I didn't, I found my way here through prayer and then through waking up, right? Through education, like understanding what was actually happening to us and realizing it and having my eyes open. And when those two things happened, that led me to carnivore, but I was mentally better prepared for carnivore because I had a lot of faith in it, because I knew how I'd been kind of attacked, marketed to, manipulated. So I really think that once you're there, because, once I was there was no fear about bucking the grain, like going against the grain. I didn't care. I didn't care what fear tactics were brought to me about red meat and colon cancer, cholesterol and heart disease and all this stuff. I was like, I would be dead already if I wasn't for carnivore. I wasn't going to make it 15 months unless I did something, So
I know I wouldn't be here right now if I didn't switch.
absolutely. And you know it. And people are like, how could you know that? When you're dying, you can feel it.
You can feel it. You can feel yourself giving up.
Yep. I remember those days, eat late at night. Then I couldn't wait to see it. Yeah, to eat again.
Yeah.
Don't miss those days at all. Yeah, exactly. And this is why when people are like, Todd, how do you know that this isn't just like one of your other diets where you gained it all back? And it's like, it's real simple, because I'm not white knuckling anything. I'm like, none of this is difficult. None of this is a problem. I'm not, I don't wake up in the morning thinking about food and praying that I can make it through the day without screwing up. And I don't go to bed at night early so that I won't be hungry. Like I'm not hungry. I don't feel a bunch of hunger. I don't have any cravings. I'm not manipulated or
The thoughts ain't there no more.
Yep. Had someone tell me last week they could not eat only meat because they are Latino. Ever had somebody push back because of cultural excuses? What does that have to do with anything? I had no idea. I mean, Lindy could say the same thing, right? She's Italian. Well, Michael could. You're Greek,
I'm Greek.
Yeah, and you had Italian in your family too, and Lindy's Italian. I mean, Italians are born for pasta and breadsticks, and marinara sauces in it. So might be in your heritage, but I mean, it's. I just replace. I couldn't cut out carbs. Instead, I would just replace with, like, I couldn't cut out meth because I am Latino, or because I'm whatever. Or I couldn't cut out, I don't know, pick a poison and put it in there, or a drug, like heroin, meth, cocaine, gambling, or cyanide, or whatever. It's poison. Once you learn that it's poison, once you learn how you've been, the only reason why people don't understand what a poison sugar is because it doesn't kill you as fast as like fentanyl. It takes time, but it slowly and surely robs you of your quality of life, makes you sicker, makes everything harder. You become a slave to it. And then that makes you give all your money. You go to work and you push through all this anxiety and pain and misery to make money, just to go give it to insurance companies and the medical system to get drugs.
Pharma,
so that you can, so you can try to shock yourself, together to go work some more, to go get more money, to give it to these pharmaceutical. Yeah, it's like, it's, when you say that, you say, well, I have no, I can't not be a slave to the to the big food and big pharma because I'm Latino. Like, it's like, what does that
It
even
doesn't
mean?
make no sense. No,
No, like put it in
they just don't want to give up their carbs and their
for sure.
sugars and the
Also,
desserts and all
I
that
got to
stuff.
tell you guys, I have a chuck roast in the Ninja right now, and this house smells amazing. And I am
I bet.
literally salivating. I'm sitting here going, I can't believe people think this is restrictive. When I get off here, I'm going to go do some serious damage to about 7 pounds.
I'm sure right before you start eating, my phone will go off and I'll start seeing pictures of it.
You're going to see some awesome pictures for sure. I seared the heck out of that just before, and I was like, I didn't even have time. I knew I was too impatient because I was sick. I had the Rona yesterday, so I didn't eat much yesterday, and I'm hungry today. That's why I just keep thinking it's just like this is not restrictive. And if you think you are remotely having meat aversion or something, you just go ahead and fast and you'll get over that in a hurry. Oh, Kimberly, I'm so sorry to give you the bad news, but Lindy's puppy died last night. Beautiful little Bella. And so
17 years old.
17 years old. And so Lindy has, of course, taken some time. She's in the chat, but she does need some time to heal up. We appreciate everybody's thoughts and prayers because it is a tough one. It's like losing your little furry children. It's really tough. So I made some pickled eggs a couple of days ago. Great to go when I'm needing some protein. I left weights, and so my protein macro is a bit high. That's awesome, though. And it's all about how good you feel. I can't wait. I'm so close. I got 6 more days, and I can eat eggs again. Oh. Do you subscribe to particular YouTube channels for your resistance bands workouts? Honestly, no. I just
Grab and pull.
Yeah, I just been doing whatever kind of came natural. So whatever. So I have some videos that I watch on free weights, dumbbell workouts. And so I just try to mimic anything that I'm going to be doing with the dumbbell workout. And then also I bought a couple of kits for the resistance bands, and they had exercises on the back of them when I bought them. And that was where I learned this one on my shoulder. So I'm just doing things that work the areas that are tight with me, my shoulders, my back, and those type of things. And then I try to mimic workouts that I'm going to do with the dumbbells. So like, I do dumbbell incline bench presses. I do hammer curls. I do skull crushers and stuff like that. And I try to mimic any of those movements before I do them with the resistance bands, but I could definitely do a lot better. I'm just falling behind. I'm now on day 16, and most days I only eat one time or sometimes two. Is it too little? I have not done any priming. I believe it is too little. And I say that coming from a guy that did his first 9 months actually with OMAD, 1 meal a day. And I thought that was the way to go about it because that calorie restrictive stuff gets in our head. But all that I earned a very slow metabolism from that, and a plateau that lasted 6 months is what happened.
I did the same thing.
Yep. And the reason why you think you're making progress, because when you have fat for the first time and you get a little bit of leptin sensitivity back, it's really easy to undereat. But you actually need to force yourself to eat more, or not. I don't know if force is the word, but like be very diligent about keeping up and getting your food in. And I would definitely recommend joining the SBG gang and trying their priming protocols and just get that out of the way first, so that then you can do fasting and OMAD and stuff later, but do it after when you're coming off of the standard American diet, you're going to have a bunch of deficiencies. You're going to be deficient in a lot of things, and your body needs them. So you need to feed first and heal all those deficiencies. Even if it makes you gain weight on the scale, it's not going to be fat, but your tissue is going to heal, and you might gain a little bit of fluid, but probably not even. They're probably not on the fluid. It depends. But then after you heal up, then your body will start working on the weight. But you got to heal first. You got to get nourished first. Way better way to go about it. Carb hunger feels like an emergency, while carnivore hunger politely taps you. Exactly. That's an incredibly good way to say it, for sure. Very, very true. Thank you for your knowledge and openness to speak about guilt and shame. Absolutely. And well, and that's the thing. We got to get it all out of the shadows because we all deal with it, right? It's like one of the most natural fallen human conditions, in my opinion. And, we have to put it out there because, we don't have to carry this stuff, right? We all just have to accept that we're all imperfect people and we're going to screw up and life's hard. And this environment's built against us to kind of ruin us that way. So if we're going to fight it, we got to stop blaming ourselves and start understanding that there's an enemy playing against us here. We are being attacked, and we have to see that and know what's coming for us. So
absolutely, no cravings is amazing. And eating simple carnivore diet is so simple, amazing, and never boring. Absolutely.
Exactly. No, it's not. Like right now, I am so hungry smelling that pot roast right now. I just, when you put a pot roast in the slow cooker and it hits that perfect spot where it makes the whole house smell.
Yeah. It's going to be good when you can smell the whole house smells like that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it simple, stupid. Absolutely.
We all love our Lindy, and we miss
Lindy does, and we are wishing her some healing. I know it's tough. That's the worst part about owning dogs.
Yep. Everybody's got to go through it.
Yeah, it's a rough one. Smoking New York strips tonight, ready to eat. Oh my gosh.
Sounds good.
You're making me hungry, Brett. I'm struggling to eat meat right now due to my stress, so I'm going to do an egg prime. Was just given a recipe for egg colada.
Yep.
That sounds delicious.
It does.
Apparently an egg custard. Ooh. We're going to try that after the show. Oh, tell me how that is. Definitely. That sounds good. And I'm 6 days from eating my body weight in eggs. Yeah.
You're doing 36 eggs again.
Oh, in a hurry. I'm coming straight into it. Question, do you know if you can overeat protein? Has Coach Raymond said anything about it? Worried I eat too much protein, but I crave more protein than fat. So I had this problem. And you can, because what's interesting is that you can. So somebody told me this that I was talking to, and it made a whole bunch of sense to me. So at first, when I was doing carnivore, I couldn't eat too much protein. I could eat all the protein I wanted, and my body was fine with it. But what happens is you have a metabolic pathway called gluconeogenesis that'll make glucose, which is what carbs turn into. It'll make glucose out of protein. And when you are first, everybody's a little bit different. But when I think what was happening when I first started carnivore, I did not have a very efficient glucose neogenesis metabolic pathway established. So I didn't have to worry about much protein being turned into glucose, or at least not quickly. And so it wasn't a big problem for me. But after about a year of carnivore, and my gluconeogenesis metabolic pathway or whatever picked up, and now I was turning in any excess protein into glucose. So to give you a quick answer, what you want to do is start picking up your fat, and because I thought the same thing. I wasn't craving fat either, but I had to use tallow, and that tallow. And so I started measuring it out to a 2 grams of tallow or 2 grams of fat per 1 gram of protein approach. And then I had to find how much protein at one time my body could absorb. And for me, I happen to know the sweet spot is about 70 grams, which is a lot. But I know not to eat more than 70 grams in like a 2-hour window, or else I'm risking having excess protein that won't be absorbed, that will turn into glucose. And so if that happens, that's going to spike your insulin, and it's like eating carbohydrates a little bit. It's not near as bad, but it's a little bit like that. And so what I would recommend is that you up your fat using tallow. Now, a lot of people use butter and stuff. For me personally, nothing beats tallow. I get the most energy out of tallow. And so I would try that. Do the thing where you eat 1 gram of protein per carbohydrate, or sorry, not per carbohydrate. Eat 1 gram of protein per lean body mass per pound of lean body mass. So let's say that your lean body mass should be like 160 pounds. Eat 160 grams of protein, but you're going to want to eat about 320 grams of fat. Now, some of the fat's going to come with the protein that you're eating, and you're going to have to supplement it. And I supplement it with tallow, and it's a little tricky, but you can do it and just see how you eat. But if you're going to eat 160 grams of protein, you're going to want to break that up into about 3 meals, maybe 4, and just eat and try that way. And what you'll see is your requirement for protein will probably start coming down into where you want it. But I've done that, and it's been a game changer for me. My having that much fat has given me a lot more mental energy, just physical energy, feel good. It's really quite good. Thank you. Again, I'm priming, but didn't care because I was healing. Exactly. Same.
Don't worry when you're priming.
Nope. Same here. Lindy, that's good.
Butter egg colada.
Yeah, that sounds delicious. Back in the old days, but I am strong. Sugar is the last thing on my mind. The egg custard is very clean. It'll be easy to get down. That sounds really good. Let us know how that's going, Lindy, because I'm going to be send us a picture of that. For me personally, yeah, I can't eat. I can't eat like 6 hours before I want to sleep, or I won't sleep as good.
I try eating early.
Yeah,
my last meal.
Lindy, I need it. She's gonna wait until I'm fasting though. Did I catch up? I think I might have caught up.
We're caught up. Yeah.
All right, where am I at here? I lost. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Never easy to when you lose them.
No,
Pet.
it's not. And yeah, it's a rough one. That's what sucks about dogs is that they live the length to be real painful because you get so attached to them, and then they just don't live long enough. It's a rough one.
And dogs are your best friend and a big part of your life, man.
For sure. Hey, Goose, how are you? Let's see.
Hi, Daryl.
Howdy, Daryl. So it is so rough. Let's see. That'd be kind of fun. I fat fortify with butter or bacon grease. Tallow gags me. Okay, yeah, for sure. Tallow gags me too if I eat it raw, but I mix salt and Tabasco in with it, and then it's delicious.
I mix it in with my scrambled eggs.
Yeah. Do you like it with the Tabasco too?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I make my eggs in the morning. I make it with scrambled eggs, and I put the tallow in there. Then I put hot sauce
on it. Yeah. So delicious. Yeah. Exactly. Let's see. Even the topic of gluconeogenesis. Absolutely. I think you will find it helpful. There's Mike Shaw.
And we're not caught up.
Thanks, Mike. Absolutely. All right. I haven't lost or gained for 8 months, but I have gone up in calories from well below 1,000 calories to around 1,800 now. I'm trying to find my maintenance level so I can lose without. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. There we go. I'm glad you liked it, Susan. Yeah, let us know in the chat if you want us to keep having kind of a series on guilt and shame, because there's a lot more to talk about, I think, and kind of just dig into it. Like I just think that there's propaganda at play against us, and one of them is like the fat positivity movement, right? Like all of a sudden, I mean, think about how insulting that really is. I mean, morbid obesity is obviously there's many ways that you could be metabolically sick and have many different diseases, but morbid obesity is one of them. And it's not necessarily inherently that the body weight is causing the disease, but it is a parallel symptom of a metabolic disease that's causing the body weight and causing other health problems, right? So when you're carrying around that heavy weight, it's undeniable that it's terrible for your health. So, and I'm not trying to pick winners or lose, classify things as a better sickness or a worse sickness. But what I am saying is that, you know, you wouldn't have a cancer positivity, you wouldn't say, oh, you have cancer, and anybody that thinks you shouldn't have cancer is now cancer phobic and they're being bigoted to you. Like, that's ridiculous, and this fat positivity stuff, it's propaganda. It's really insulting because it is these big food and big pharma saying you have the right to be dying of obesity and nobody should shame you for it. And
Right.
it's like,
And
nobody's
discourage you
shaming.
from it.
Yeah, discourage you from it. Nobody's shaming anybody for having, people are concerned for people that are morbidly obese. That's why they're talking about it. I guess on one way, it's on, you wear it on the outside so more people see it and they are worried for you. Your people that care about you are going to worry about it. They're not trying to shame you, but they want you to live. They want you to be healthy.
Right.
And so anyhow, that's propaganda. It's literally the big food, big pharma being thinking that we're so dumb that we're going to sit here and buy into that, and they're going to say you have the right to be, it's like saying you have the right to keep dying of cancer. That's your right to keep dying of metabolic disease, and you should protest that. Like, I hate cancer. I don't hate cancer, people with cancer. I hate cancer because it's killing my brothers and my sisters.
Right.
I hate
And everyone else
metabolic disease and fat because it's killing my brothers and my sisters. We hate that, and it's good to hate that because it's taking our quality of life and our life from us, and it's killing our life.
shorten it.
So
Yep. It's
yeah,
already short enough as it is.
right. So that's one piece of the propaganda. Another piece of the propaganda that we've found is like in that movie The Whale, where he was sitting there stuffing his face and binge eating in front of the fridge. Sure, there's some people that do binge eat. I'm not saying that there's not,
Right.
but big food really wants us to think that anybody that weighs
does.
5, 6, 700 pounds, that's how you get there. Only way you can get there is if you park in front of the refrigerator and you gorge yourself until you throw up in the kitchen garbage can every night. And you do that repeatedly. They want that picture in everybody's head. It's not how it happens. It happens slowly with soda and hyperpalatable empty calories that we are all addicted to, that get marketed to us, and we become insulin resistant. And that's how it happens. I never once ate until I puked. I've never done that. I've never ate until I puked, not once. I've never sat in front of the refrigerator and ate food out of the refrigerator. I've never sat and pulled everything out of my fridge. Most of the time, I wouldn't have things in my fridge because if I did, I would eat them. And I knew that I would weigh 1,000 pounds if I did that. So I didn't. So that's piece of propaganda. But so is guilt and shame. And this is what I'm trying to say. I think we need to kind of identify these tools and these pieces of propaganda that keep us addicted, and keep us beaten up. And one of those things is definitely the calorie in, calorie out, calorie deficit model, right? Because they want us to think that the food is never to blame. It's your relationship and how much of the food you eat. That's the only catalyst to look at, because they need you to think that that 100 calories of Snickers bar or Coca-Cola is equal, the same as 100 calories of broccoli or red meat. And even worse, they're saying that out of that equation, the red meat is the worst one for you. They're saying the red meat will give you colon cancer and heart disease, but the Lucky Charms and the Snickers bars and the soda,
Right.
That's all good for you.
And that's what they're pushing nowadays. They're pushing the meat off the table, and they're pushing the cereals that are loaded with sugar and all the other chemicals that we can't even pronounce what they are.
Exactly. And so that's just something that I think we got to dig into in the future. And I'd like to kind of start a series here where we look at all the different pieces of actual propaganda that's commonly thought, that's commonly thought there. I mean, there's a big movement for people to praise people being overweight because they're trying to make them more comfortable and they healthy at any size. And I mean, that's crazy. Diabetes is not healthy, these, having lymphatic system problems is not
high
healthy.
blood pressure. None of that stuff is healthy. Yeah.
No. And so we know that, but also, so is, because there's another thing I've hesitated just talking about the guilt and shame part because the way, when you talk about that, it almost sounds like we're blameless, and that's not true either. We have to take our portion of the blame, right? Because like my portion, and I've thought about this a lot, but I really think that the part that I did that was so wrong was the fact that I wanted to be lied to. I allowed myself to be lied to because I wanted a magic pill, because I wanted to be able to eat pizza and also not gain weight. So I kept listening to the white coats and taking the pills and the things because, intuitively, we all know that if we sit there and we eat or even drink a bunch of soda or eat a bunch of ice cream or whatever, in the long run, we know that makes us feel bad. And we know that we have an immediate consequence of weight gain and getting sicker. We know that. But then you go to the doctor and they're like, well, you just don't have the metabolism. You have a eating disorder because you eat too much and you eat because you're, sad or whatever. And they're like, but the good news is we can get you a pill or we can get you a gastric bypass surgery or whatever.
Right.
And
we got a shot now that'll help you lose weight.
Yeah, it was Ozempic, And so they do those things and they want you to, to buy into that system. So but it's not, it's not that we're blameless. So we have to know what our part where we're enabling and contributing to our own problems, but also we have to know the enemy that we're fighting and then how we're being attacked, the things that have been weaponized against us. And we just have to, and this is why I love the guilt and shame topic about backing up away from that. Because when you do, you don't have to feel bad for the parts that, just completely remove all the feelings and all the nonsense out of it and just look at it very common sense wise, going, all right, what is hurting me? What am I doing that's hurting me? What is the enemy doing that's hurting me? What have they weaponized? And we don't have to get all personal about it. We don't have to be all down on ourselves. It's like knowing that they've manipulated our food system this bad and that these things are really crafted as a weapon against us. It's no wonder we've all fallen into this. Like 74% of the Earth's population have fallen into this, so we don't have to feel paranoid.
So easy to do.
And so let's just figure it out so we can take all the power away from these sons of bitches that are making us sick. Let's bankrupt the sons of bitches. Let's stop taking their drugs, stop eating their food, stop listening to their fear mongering and their pandering, and take all the power from these people. And we take it back and we get healthy. We be examples. And then we show other people the way. We show them how we did it,
Yep.
And that's what I want. I want to start really diving into. Let's see, what do we got here? Howdy. Appreciate you stopping in. Coach Raymond back. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely will. Definitely will. Yes, she does. So Cosette, she's 17 years old. And so I used to feed her chicken. I don't know. Some of you know this story, but I used to feed her chicken all the time. And she would have, 7, 8, 9 seizures a year that were pretty nasty. She had pretty bad seizures and it was ugly to watch. And this happened for 10 years. And I took her into all the vets and stuff, and they did blood tests and all this stuff, and they just said it's a genetic condition, and that wasn't much that they could do about it, really. And so, long story short, I end up going carnivore. I find that I don't feel good eating chicken, so I started eating beef. Well, when I started eating beef, I started feeding Cosette beef. Well, out of nowhere, Cosette's seizures, she stopped having them. And I didn't relate the two. I thought maybe she just got older, maybe she grew out of it. Maybe, she's just having a good spell. I didn't know. But then fast forward, I was suffering with low testosterone. I was trying to heal that with carnivore. I found out that eating a bunch of chicken eggs, about 36 a day, would boost your testosterone naturally. So I went to a local chicken farmer here. I bought laying chickens. And when I was talking to her, I asked her, why is it that I don't feel so good eating chicken from the grocery store? Is there something wrong with the chicken? And she goes, yes, there is. And she said that basically they incubate 2 species of chickens that don't breed in the wild or whatever. And she said they found this out that it was making people sick because it was in the dog food and all these dogs were having seizures. And when I heard that, I was like, okay, this is not a lie, because that's literally what happened to Cosette. Well, I even have an update on that. About 3 weeks ago, my mom went on a chicken binge and was starting to eat chicken again, and my dog started eating chicken, and she ate a half of Costco's rotisserie chicken, and she had a seizure 4 hours later. Her first seizure in 15 months since being on all beef carnivore. She ate one half of one Costco rotisserie chicken, and she had a seizure. And I was like, never again, whatever is going on there. And then also, if you guys want to know more about that, watch Super Size Me 2, the documentary. That will tell you all you need to know about the chicken and why it's such an abomination right now. But yeah, so now Cosette only eats basically beef, and I'll make her hamburger and gravy. She'll eat that. I get her the chuck stew from Costco, the little square chuck pieces. She loves that. That's what she just had.
She also gets ribeyes when she steals them off the table.
She does. She occasionally steals my dang ribeyes on me, dirty dog. But yeah, she's a spoiled carnivore. But her hip, she had bad hip dysplasia, as poodles do, especially 17-year-old poodles. And now she's bouncing around like her mind's all there. She's a spry little puppy in her brain. She wants to play with her squeaky toys and all this stuff. She's just got some hip dysplasia, but it's been way better on beef for sure. There are a lot of industries coming out against carnivore because it will cause a loss of profit. Absolutely. They're gonna, bring on the fear mongering. This is what I'm saying. We all have to be prepared.
I'm waiting for the warning message right under our video every week that carnivore is bad for you.
We're disseminating misinformation. That's going to come.
It's coming.
What's so funny is that a bunch of talking pinheads can tell us what misinformation is, but me standing right here in front of you, down 260 pounds, healthier, getting my life back for the first time, I don't know what I'm talking about. It's the pinheads that know what they're talking about. It's like whatever. Have you noticed how many of the fat positivity influencers have died? Yes, I have, and it's sad, right? It's sad how manipulated they are, and it's a mental disease. It really is. The more that I'm carnivore and the better that my brain runs off the proper human diet, the more that I realize that it's as much of a mental illness as it is a physical one. Like it's terrible. I need to know, are you putting But
If he doesn't, I will.
oh boy, man, another. The, let me see what I can find. If I can. Oh, is it Easter already? It is Easter already, isn't it?
Next week. Yeah.
Oh, it's next week. Okay.
And she wants glitter on your Easter eggs.
Glitter on my Easter eggs. Oh no, that will never happen. Glitter is not coming in ever again. I wonder what it could do. He loves glitter. Exactly. If I can roll it around on the floor, maybe I can pick up some of the Christmas glitter because it's still in my carpet for sure. That's a real fact, Mike. It is still in the carpet.
You can still see it on his hat.
Yeah, for sure. If I here, look. I don't know if you can see that. See that?
Oh, I see it. I see it sparkling. Yep.
Yeah, that's glitter. I can't get rid of it. It is everywhere, and that was from Christmas. And all I have to do, if I look, it's everywhere. It is everywhere. I vacuumed 156 times since then, and it is everywhere. We ought to send this as weapons of mass destruction to other people's countries because glitter. I mean, it's like it could survive nuclear holocaust, right? It's going to be like Twinkies and glitter and cockroaches is all it's going to survive.
You left. Yep, exactly.
Exactly. What do we got here?
There you go. Hot dogs dipped in eggs.
That sounds good. Am I missing any? Yep. Oh, here we go. I did miss a couple. I'm going back to the starred ones. Every overweight person I know are all under eating. Yep, I was one. Had no idea I needed to eat more to lose. Isn't that crazy? I mean, and it makes so much sense now, right? Because you're sitting there your whole life and you think that fuel is nutrients. You think it's the same thing. So, because you fell into this calories don't matter. Calories are all equal thing. And so we eat all these stupid empty sugar calories that just turn to glucose. And our body's really screaming for fat because our hormones are screwed up and it's screaming for building blocks and nutrients and electrolytes and minerals and all these things. And we keep giving it sugar and MSG, and it's like, now it's got to deal with it. It pumps up the insulin that stores it as fat. Right. But then immediately it screams because it's still starving. You're still having a building block problem. You're still having a maintenance problem. And so it's screaming and we keep giving it this empty crap. And then we're like, we have too much stored body fat. So what do? We stop eating altogether or we cut it in half. So we're even eating half as much, and we're all just completely deficient in nutrients. It's crazy. I'm going to sneeze.
Bless you.
There we go. I got the pause on just in time. Let's see here.
Sandwiches from chicken. Yep.
Absolutely. Chicken is absolutely a freaking abomination right now.
Yep.
Absolutely. Those chickens are disgusting, DC. Shout out to DC too. I just did an interview with him. If you guys want to see DC, I got your email and I haven't, I went straight from waking up this morning to helping my sister when she got here, but I will check it out after this live stream and shoot you back. Oh my God, I feed her, Costco rotisserie chicken the other day and one got sick. I thought maybe I gave it to her too much, but I need to find out what's in that. Absolutely. I'm telling you, it took one half of one Costco's rotisserie chicken to make my dog have a seizure after 15 months. It is crazy. My dog eats fresh raw lamb, goat eggs, all raised by me. I wish I knew about the seizures and store-bought chicken before I lost my chocolate lab to a massive seizure. Yeah, absolutely. Oh,
yeah.
It's so terrible, but it's a real thing, And just watch Super Size Me too, and you'll never eat chicken again. I have not eaten chicken once since I went carnivore. Like I'm done with chicken. I would have it if it's like a real chicken, farm fresh chicken, but not these abominations.
Not the mass produced stuff they make. Yeah.
No, none of that. Let's see here. Am I missing any? Oh, it's true. The glitter's a real struggle. I don't think you're joking. I would believe this. I believe
I'm
there
sure
is
that
glitter at the bottom of the ocean.
actually finds its way there.
No, Keith. There's no such thing as bringing it back. It is with us always now. Glitter is evil. Glitter is the worst thing. Like, what kind of sadistic son of a bitch ever invented that in the first place? Like, hey, here's some sparkly shit that you will never get rid of, that'll be with you till the end of time. Like, we will come back after the second coming of Christ from 1,000 years, and we'll come back and there will be glitter in my floor. There might not be a floor left, but there will be glitter where the carpet was. I know it will be. Weapons of mass frustration. Absolutely. Thank you, Bliss. Let's see. Neil Johnson, Lumberjack Logic. He reported an effort by Oregon to come after ranchers. Oh, yeah, ranchers and farmers. They don't want meat. No, they don't. They're trying to snuff everybody out. They don't want us being independent and healthy. They don't want that.
They don't want us eating real food anymore.
Yeah. Here we go. Did you know made in the USA chicken can be grown here and processed in China and then sent back?
Yep.
I did not know that, but that makes sense. It's right up there with all the other little fancy labeling they do.
Yep. Our FDA is not looking out for us. You're right, absolutely right.
No, they're bought and paid off.
Yes, they are.
You know what?
Do some research in the FDA and see who's at the top, and see who they used to work for.
Right, every time.
And then as soon as they retire, they go right back to where they were, cushy jobs. Same with the pharmaceutical.
Absolutely. My dog does
That's
not
a shame.
want chicken. Oh, it's so stupid. And people need to understand that epidemiology is it's a fake science. Epidemiology is literally constructed to be able to make everybody feel comfortable about studies and papers that are written supposedly, but they can be crafted for any outcome that they want. Yes. And they're basically just opinion pieces to push false security on people. It's like a false opposition thing. And so all these bought and paid for little committees and all these three letter agencies that are supposed to be regulating everything and keeping us all safe, they're all bought and paid for. It's all a sham and none of it's real.
Sold to the highest bidder.
Man must have Todd. I don't know what that means, but I'm laughing. I watched Super Size Me too, but I still like to eat chicken. It's not satiating for me with the carnivore diet though. I like to get duck meat. That's awesome. Yeah, I won't eat chicken after watching that. Once I saw Super Size Me too, I was like, no way. We'll see ya. I appreciate you stopping by.
Take care, Bliss.
All right, we're at the 2-hour 15-minute mark. Should we open it up and see if anybody wants to come and say hi?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to put the link in the chat. Anybody that wants to hop up and ask a question or say hi or promote their YouTube channel or anything you want to do, we got 45 minutes and then I'm going to eat a whole bunch of chuck roast. Too good in here. But hop on up and I was going to say, how did that go out on Raymond's channel?
Yeah, because
they're still broadcasting. But yeah, hop on in if you want to hop on up and say hi and promote your channel or tell us what you're doing, where you're from, anything like that. So, and then and we haven't figured out what we're doing, but tomorrow or next week's kind of a big week for us because it is our 6 months, 700 plus anniversary next week.
Yes.
So that's pretty special. So we're gonna have to do something cool about that. What should we do? Should we have a tomahawk cake or something funny? We should do something.
Also Easter.
Oh, it is Easter. Wow. That's weird. I didn't even think about that. How about that?
Well,
That's pretty cool. I didn't think about it. Our 6-month anniversary is on Good Friday or Easter Sunday, actually.
Sunday.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna dress up as, the Easter Bunny?
Good Lord, no. I don't have another hat to ruin because I don't want to re-ruin the one that I made Christmas out of, and I'm dang sure not getting glitter on my daily hat. You know, I used an old hat for my Christmas hat, and it still has the antlers on it. I wrapped it in 3 garbage bags so that none of the glitter would escape.
Believe me, it still got out.
Yeah, it still got out. It still got out. But I don't know. We should talk about the Easter candy. I mean, think about how stupid that is. Easter is they really
Yes.
are pagan holidays, right?
That's the only reason they have all these holidays.
Yeah, exactly.
Is to make money, to sell cards and food and all this stuff. Yes.
Absolutely. And I mean, think about how
Candy for every holiday.
Candy for every holiday. And look, it's a bunny that poops chocolate eggs and little peeps made of marshmallows rolled in sugar, and processed sugar rolled in more sugar. I mean, how could that be harmful? That's not how you would package meth. You wouldn't package meth with little Easter bunnies on it and little pink and yellow and green peeps, right? Meanwhile, it's more addictive, it's so ridiculous. So yeah, it's they are drug pushers, they are trying to keep us sick. Oh, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. And we will do this more often.
And think about it, with the Easter baskets and all that stuff, who they targeting? They targeting the kids.
Exactly. Every time. Gotta get
Same with Halloween.
Gotta get them, yeah, it's Christmas. It's so stupid. I mean, everything, everything is tied to sugar. The breakfast cereal has little cartoons on it, little leprechauns and little toucan Sams and little birds, and everything's little cartoons and it's all fun. And then they're all built, all the advertising's a cartoon and, they just keep going after them to all get them hooked on the sugar.
He knows. 55 years, he's still stuck with the glitter.
Exactly, right? I bet you still have glitter from 55 years ago that you opened or that somebody brought in your house. Yeah, I know. When I used to drive Uber and these damn women would get in there going out on a Friday night or whatever, but they'd put that body butter with the glitter on it. You can't get that out of your seats. You cannot get it. When I'm not even kidding you. I got to the point where when I would see some glistening young gal coming over to my car and I start seeing the glittering, I canceled the ride and got the hell out of there. I'm like, I'm not glitter bombing the crap out of my seats anymore. Can't get that crap out of here. Smells like coconut body butter and freaking unicorn glitter everywhere. It's like not doing it. Just not doing it. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. It's funny to have to explain to Uber why you didn't take a ride. And it's like body butter and glitter. That's why I didn't take the ride. That's awesome. Yep. Toys, no candy. They don't need the candy. I used to have a great neighbor who would sit the kids down and they would dye hard-boiled eggs, different colors, use candle wax to make them pretty patterns. Yeah, that would be fun. That's a way better.
Traditionally, Greeks don't do different colors. We usually just do red.
Just red? That's awesome, though. Untouchable. Yeah, I can't tell them off. Can't beat them up. Yeah, well, you have to do it when people aren't looking now.
Go, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah. Mike, me and you could have some could have some conversations. I gave before 2020, I gave like 7,500 rides, and so I've got a million funny stories from Uber. It was a good time.
You were the boober.
I was the boober. Well, I'll bring that back up someday, but Easter isn't pagan. There didn't used to be all these darn Candy's It's Nice dinner with ham or lamb for my family. Well, but they are pagan. When you go back to it, I'm pretty certain that Easter is not
Yes.
actually on the dates. Like
Nope.
the whole reason, I mean, the whole calendar got screwed up. The whole calendar used to be
Calendar should be 13
13
months.
months, and that's why
Exactly.
they did it. And that's why, you know, if you go back to like the original Greek or whatever, the months aren't even named the months anymore. The months are completely off. They scattered them around on purpose,
What
and
does
that's
sept
why.
mean? What does
Right.
oct mean? Yep.
Exactly. And they did that. Yeah, like oct should be 8, not 10, you know? And that's why they are pagan holidays, is because they purposely did not want us worshiping, you know, Good Friday and Easter Sunday
At the right time.
at the right time. They wanted to
Yes.
screw up our history, and they did it with the calendar through pagan holidays. They really are
Yes, they
pagan
did.
holidays.
Yep.
Yeah. Uh, let's see. There's a chemical that makes sense. There's something nasty about it that Cosette has seizures with.
Aussie Greeks, that's why.
I gotcha.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I know it's really sad, you know. And the thing is, they literally are trying to pervert the real traditions and the real meanings of these holidays, and they're trying to commercialize them, make them crazy. I'm not gonna. I'm not an expert in this, but I don't
But
know that it was April.
ask
Like,
yourself this: why does it change all the time? Wouldn't it always be the same?
right. Right. You know, believe me, I'm a Christian. I believe that Jesus rose after 3 days. I'm not contesting that. That's all real. I believe, or in my mind, that I believe that's what happened. I believe he went, you know, that Jesus went to hell and rose after 3 days. I'm just saying that it's not in April. It's not on the days that that we celebrated. That's the
Oh,
problem. Neither was, you know, Christmas or Jesus being born, because
first of the year is not January 1st either.
right. It's not January 1st. And that's what I'm saying, that our calendar's been screwed up on purpose, right? And it was because they wanted to hide the actual dates of the actual traditions. They wanted to screw them up, you know? I mean, obviously, you know, the holiday, I mean, even if nothing else, but just the fact of a leap year means that nothing is on the right date, you know?
Exactly. After
So,
how many leap years would it screw up the calendar?
right. Absolutely. I agree. And I mean, I'm not sitting here. It doesn't matter. In my mind, it doesn't matter, right? The meaning matters, right? The fact that we take remembrance and acknowledgement of our Savior, you know, that's what matters. But I'm just saying that there was you know, this world is working against it. Most of our holidays are based on the Roman pagan god dates. Yeah. Christmas was a sun god. It's a shame we don't. Yeah, exactly. No, the actual date of Jesus' birth or death. Exactly. And that's why they're pagan holidays. They really are. And that's why I don't celebrate them. I don't, you know, I don't really, I mean, I celebrate the spirit of it or whatever, but I don't get into the whole commercialized part of it. It's all pretty silly. Very possibly. Let's see. Yeah, right. It's the Jewish lunar calendar, not the Roman calendar. I don't know. I'd have to look into it. But
All I know is it's not the right calendar.
it's not the right calendar. I don't know which one it is. And like I said, because I don't, I believe we're, you know, after Jesus died, we're not under the law anymore, and that includes all these rituals, right? Like I don't care about these rituals. I care about relationship. That's why I don't care about these. But I also just refuse to participate in what I know was meant to be, you know, or at least how they meant it to be a commercialized thing, you know. There are 364 and a quarter days per year. We have a leap year to keep the Roman calendar on track. Okay, perfect.
To sell,
Yeah.
sell and make money. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That makes more sense. I was kind of doing the math there. 4 and a quarter. Shouldn't we add it, day? There. Oh. I ideally cook you up a steak, Todd, and text it to you. I'm pretty sure you won't like it. Might be a source of future nightmares.
AI, huh? AI doesn't know how to make a steak.
Yeah, that is a source of future nightmares. Here, let me. Yeah, that if I ever have meat aversion, it'll be from this picture, Adam. Let me see. How do I send this? I'll send it to you, Michael.
Right. Text, WhatsApp, what? Email?
I'm gonna put it on WhatsApp. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out. Here we go. Send WhatsApp. I'll put it in Dirty Carnivores. Yeah, that's my worst nightmare, actually. Did you get it, Michael?
Not yet.
Oh, I didn't go to WhatsApp. Dirty Carnivores.
Mhm.
What the heck?
Let me refresh my page.
Let me refresh here.
It's there now.
Yeah. See what he did?
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. I mean, that's gonna spread to the mitochondrial DNA of all cows now, Adam, and they're all gonna shit glitter.
Oh.
Michael's gonna put it up.
Yeah, I got it.
Just got off the road, 9 hours of driving time for some. Exactly. That is my worst nightmare.
Steak with glitter.
Good to see you, Scott. Oh, yeah, because you guys are having a meetup or something, aren't you? I think that's what Scott's doing. I think if I remember right.
So,
Jesus was crucified on Passover, which is calculated on the Jewish calendar and is in the spring. The Eastern Orthodox Christian Church follows the Passover calendar. That would be, I'm going to have to look into that more for sure. This year's my family are going to the Korean barbecue for dinner. All you can eat meat. You cook it yourself on the hot plate. That sounds fun. Ooh, bring your own salt. And definitely,
sounds good.
definitely tell us how that goes. That sounds delicious. There we go.
Bring your own towel too.
Well, that's a good idea. That's a way good idea. Let's see. Easter is the first Sunday after the first full moon, after the, what is that, vernal or equinox?
Vernal. Yeah.
That's why it moves around. But yeah. Says it's close to the Passover every year. I got you. Just reading through these. Here, I'm going to put the link in the chat one more time. See if anybody wants to hop on. How much time do we got left? We got 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
If you guys got a half hour, if you want to promote your channels or say hi.
Got a question for you, Todd.
Instead of posting what I just ate here, can I message you later? Would help me with some numbers so I can make sure I understand. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Just message me. So my email is thecarnivorecure@gmail.com. Just email me and we'll hook up here and I can bring you on StreamYard. Obviously not like broadcasted, but we use StreamYard to like Zoom calls and we can go over it because yeah, it's really easy. Now once you get it, I use this I use this app. Let me see what it's called. I think it's called like Weigh It or something. Lose It. Looks like a scale. And anyhow, it's just got all the food in it, like all the food. You just enter anything in there. You can scan it. You can take a picture of it. You can start typing it in, and it'll find the meat, and then it'll tell you what the macros is. So it'll tell you how much fat and how much protein per gram or per ounce is in that meat. And so you'll know how much fat you have to add to it to get a 2-to-1 ratio. So it's pretty handy. Oh, there's Brett. Hey, Brett, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
We are doing awesome. How are you doing today?
Oh, great. I just got done having dinner.
How were those strip sticks?
They were great. I smoked New York strips for dinner and smoked them for about an hour and then seared them, and it was fantastic.
That sounds really good. I love smoked steak, man. It's one of my favorites. I just don't do it as often as I should because I really like them smoked for about an hour and a half, before I sear them, and so it takes a little time, but man, they are delicious.
So good. It's a nice change up, when Sunday didn't really have anything going on. So I'm like, I'm going to do something a little special. So
absolutely.
Yeah,
that's awesome. How about if you had one cut of meat that you had to eat for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Probably ribeye. Yeah. Or I like lamb chops a lot too. I've been eating those more, and I get the lamb chops at Costco, and I grill those the same way I do steak. And they're fantastic. They're so good.
I'll have to try that. I've never tried them. I air fry them as a lamb chop or like a ram roast. I've been air frying them. And those are good, but I've never tried like grilling them or sous vide them. I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah. You guys ever try smoking lamb?
Haven't tried smoking it yet.
Ever. That'd be a fun thing to actually try. Maybe.
I'm up for it.
Yeah, this summer I'm definitely gonna play with some things. Says I don't have a covered porch, and that's why I don't do much smoking in the winter. Yeah.
I don't have a covered porch either, but as long as it's not raining, I'll do it. I've grilled in the snow. If it's just like little light rain, I'll throw something on there and then I'll just go back in the house and.
Yeah, Cranky said smoked salmon or smoked lamb is fantastic. I bet it is.
I will have to add that to my list of things to make.
Yep.
For sure.
I haven't tried smoking my own salmon yet either. I really like smoked salmon when you get it at the store. It's really good.
Yeah.
But like to
very
try
expensive too.
You know what I love to do with smoked salmon is I make my own like sushi logs with it. I take the smoked salmon and I'll roll it out real thin. And then I put cream cheese on it. And then I put pickled jalapenos on it. And I love that so much. You roll that together, cream cheese, pickled jalapenos, and smoked salmon. And dude, I will eat my body weight in that stuff. It is so good. Oh my God. I can't get enough of that. That's a holiday treat because it's got the cream cheese in it, and I don't do much. But as far as cream cheese, it is like the least offensive cheese for me when it comes to like stalling because it's got so much fat, content into it. It does pretty good. But yeah, I love that. I used to take that, and sometimes I would take prosciutto. I'd do salmon, cream cheese, pickled jalapenos, and then prosciutto, and then wrap that. Oh my gosh.
We had some leftover chicken from a roasted chicken the other night. And I broke out some cream cheese, probably the first time I've had cream cheese in probably 6 months or more. And I chopped that chicken up because it was like just chicken breast. It was real dry. There wasn't any fattiness to it at all. Yeah. And I made I shredded it up, put some cream cheese in there, put some bacon bits in there,
Mm.
a little bit of bacon grease, and warmed that. Got it all warmed up in the skillet. It made like a chicken carbonara.
Oh, I bet that was good.
And I ate that, and it was a really great way to eat that chicken breast and get rid of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And add some fat to it and make it
Right.
where it wasn't so lean.
Yep.
It came out good. I'd make it again.
Yep, absolutely. I made I would make these keto or these carnivore whatever you want to call them, quiche muffins basically. And I would take egg, but instead of doing a crust or whatever, I'd do prosciutto on the bottom, and then I would do pickled jalapenos, cream cheese, bacon, sausage, steak, ham, and put them in there and make muffins out of them. And those things are so good. So that's right along there. When you put cream cheese with any of that stuff, it makes it pretty amazing.
Yeah, it makes it just taste so rich. Gives
Yes.
it a richness.
Especially when you infuse bacon grease with cream cheese, it holds that bacon grease so good. Man, that's a good combination for sure.
Yeah, I probably put 2 tablespoons of bacon grease in there with it.
The lamb is lower in histamine could be why. Absolutely. Yeah, because Beth said that lamb's not her favorite, but when she eats it, she feels the best. And yeah, I think lamb is lower in histamine for sure.
Yep. I'm going to be eating even more of it because next week is the kids' last week at school before spring break. And I'm going down to Florida, taking the family down there to Pensacola for a week. And when we get back, I'm going to go lion diet.
There you go. I have 6 days left in my 90 days of lion diet, 6 more days, and I've made it 90 days. And I love it, but I'm missing the eggs. I got to get my eggs back.
Yeah, I will miss eggs.
Yeah, that's the biggest.
Is there any reason why I couldn't have butter on the lion diet?
He's stuck. He's going to have to call 911. She said, I can't believe we got you out of that cooler. Yeah, absolutely. The eggs are what I miss the most too. But you know what's funny is that when I go back here, I'm just going to do lion diet plus eggs because that's all that I'm missing,
Yeah.
Yep. Because I'm loving the beef, but I just am missing the eggs.
Well, speaking of the meat locker, I'm starting up an interview channel called the Meat Locker Live.
Nice.
It kicks off next Wednesday, and my first guest is Carrie from Homestead House.
Well, that's awesome. I will definitely tune in.
Yeah, it's a Wednesday at 8 my time, 7 Central, probably 5 Mountain. So,
yeah, I can't wait. That's awesome then.
Yeah. I'm sure you guys will be getting emails from me to schedule meat locker meetups. And what I'm doing is I'm sending people this background.
Yeah.
So you can put it on yours, and then we'll be in the meat locker together.
That's
there
awesome.
You go.
So that's going to be kind of my shtick.
Yeah, that'll be perfect. No, I'm down, and we're going to start doing interviews too. But I don't want to record them. I just want to do them live.
Yeah,
and that's because I don't care for the video editing and all that stuff. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. I thought my channel's getting close to monetization. I'm at 830 subs and about 1,700 watch hours, and I thought this would be a good vehicle to continue the message and hopefully grow my channel enough to where it can start making a little bit, maybe to pay for StreamYard and pay for
sure.
Stuff like that.
I'll have you know, I've made a whole $61.23 since I got monetized about 5 months ago.
Nice. Yeah. And they haven't sent you a payout yet because you haven't hit $100.
No, exactly. And then I got demonetized because I don't. I'm renewing my driver's license, but I didn't have an unexpired copy of my ID the other day.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, I'm killing it. Let's see. Yes. Oops, I hit the wrong one. Yes, I definitely will.
Oh, Michael? Did you find it?
Yeah, and I posted it up there for you.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem.
That's awesome. But yeah, Lori, I will definitely post that in the SPG recipes. I will post that up there.
That sounds good, actually.
So what is there like a certain brand of these pickled jalapenos that you have, Todd?
Yeah, they're what are the ones? They're the Italian ones with the M on them. They're like
Yeah, I know the name.
yeah, they're the same brand that makes
Yeah, they make
pepperoncinis.
they got a bunch. Yeah, they make a bunch of different peppers.
Yeah.
MAC, something like that.
And I've just found out that, I crave things with vinegar, and it makes me emulsify fat so much better. And then I found out the reason why. So like if I have like a vegetable, like an onion or something, and it's raw, I'll have I'll have like a histamine response to it, or like a oxalate response or something to it. I don't know. I don't feel good, but when I have fermented vegetables or pickled vegetables, it seems to neutralize the oxalate. So it's just, so now it's just like a seasoning to me. And I have the same thing with most freeze dried spices as well. Exactly, Keith. If we're not careful, by the end of this year, I'll make $100. Yeah, I am. And I'm sorry to everybody. I literally did get the stupid Rona thing. And so I decided to take it easy yesterday. And that was going to be my cooking yesterday. But I am putting out a cooking video for sure this next week. I just got the stupid Rona, and nothing makes you feel like spreading germs on everybody's food.
We just had that go around our house about a month ago.
Yeah, did you have the same one with
the school? But I never got it.
Oh, nice.
Never got it.
I think the only reason why I got it was because mom ended up with it, and then I had to take her to the hospital. And then when I was in the hospital, I think I just got around too many germs or something. I don't know.
Something.
I came home and I was like, but it wasn't terrible, but it was bad enough that I knew I just wanted to take one easy day and get it done with. And so it's about gone, but it was all in the head and in the throat. It was all sinus and headache and achiness, but.
Yep. Yeah, nobody had really bad symptoms. It was just like everyone had a cold.
Yeah, right?
Yep. Nothing. Wouldn't even known we'd have had it if we didn't have a couple tests here at the house. And we gave my daughter one and it came back positive, and then my wife took it and hers came back positive. And so.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's, it's just, that's why it was so stupid. I was like, I got a cold. And then they're like, you don't have a cold, you have COVID. And I'm like, it's a cold. I don't care what anybody says. It's freaking cold.
It's a cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adam, that's right.
Exactly. I got a little sneezy and a little runny, but the good news is it seems to only last about 48 hours on carnivore.
Right.
Yeah, I have found that when I do get something, it doesn't last long. It's here and gone. For
sure. That's what I find too. It's kind of funny because everybody will have it and then they'll be like, "Are you sick?" And then you're like, "I feel a little funny, but I don't think I'm sick. I wouldn't call it sick." And that's really what it's like,
Yeah.
They don't do that on election years unless it's a Trump election year. It's got to be politically expedient to make those kinds of decisions.
We're trying to keep everybody having the feel goods.
Exactly.
Although gas prices are high, so people don't like that in election years.
Exactly. Donalda, Lindy's puppy passed away last night, or after 17 years. So she's just taking it off and kind of mourning the loss of her puppy, but she'll be back. Yeah, it is super tough. Yeah, well, that's going to be fun. I can't wait. I'll be happy to come join you in the meat locker, and that'd be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be, light and fun. And, if somebody wants to bring up a serious topic, or really drilled down on something, I'm not going to say no, but it's going to be a good time show.
Absolutely.
That's kind of what I want it to be.
Yeah. Absolutely. I agree. I think carnivore content on YouTube, I think we do put out better content. What are we going to watch? Twilight?
Carnivore Madness brackets.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun. But yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, I can't wait to see it. And I think that's what we all need is just more conversations and getting people's story out. Because, man, have you seen the traction that carnivore's getting lately? Lindy and Bella even just got put in a Rolling Stone magazine. 2 days ago.
Really? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, Bella and Lindy were.
I know Chafee was on Women's World.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then it was funny. I almost bought it to took a picture of it in the store. But then this month's Women's World is how to use fiber to improve your digestion. I'm like,
yeah.
It went from Chafee to that.
Did you learn nothing, people?
So I'm like, yeah, it was a big eye roll when I saw that cover.
Absolutely.
Funny.
That's crazy. Oh, do you think did you kind of decide whether you think you're gonna make it to Hack Your Health, or are you still
I'm working on her, but it doesn't look like it's probably gonna happen.
I got you. No worries.
She just doesn't want to spend the money.
I understood. But there's gonna be more of them. I really am looking forward to gosh, I just hope that next year they don't conflict the whatever cruise with the Hack Your Health. Like they need to separate those two. Like whoever booked that, they need to have a little bit of separation in those for sure.
Yep. So but, I don't know if I come into a little extra money between now and then and I can talk her into it. I'd love to go because there's just so much happening and so many people are going to be there and so many activities and
Well, and it's a good bang for the buck because you're going to be able to meet so many people. Like for me, there's so many people that are going to be there that I've been wanting to meet that I would have normally had to have like gone here, there, to go meet, and they're all going to be there. And as far as being YouTubers now, which is funny to hear that come out of my mouth, but that's what I'm doing. Then it's it's a great opportunity to kind of do some work with some people too. So really good idea.
Well, what we talked about offline last time, I just like to be down there to help you guys out and do stuff. And I
could use a smoking buddy for sure.
And just hang out. I mean, that would just be awesome.
Absolutely. I know. I'm like, I
with
do
all the
need
people that are going to be around there. It's going to be epic.
Yeah, and with that much meat to smoke, I'm like, I need somebody that knows how to run a smoker too, because I need a smoker buddy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about how I would do that. Probably get some money together with some people and go out and just start, buy up steaks and eggs and and just get things stocked up to cook for everybody every night. But
that's what I was thinking.
I'll give it one more good college try and we'll see if I can sell it to her.
No worries. Yeah. It'll be fun. But no, I understand. And like I said, there's going to be many years of this in the future. So we'll have to coordinate better with each other and know what everybody's thinking and kind of make some plans, because those are some good places to have big meetups,
Mm-hmm. I think if it wasn't so far away, it would have been an easier sell.
I hear you. It's just I'm in Montana, so everything's far away from me. Nothing happens on this end of the country ever.
Yeah, if it had been a car drive, away, but it's a flight.
Yep.
Sorry, over here sneezing.
But if people are going to go and fly, I mean, I found flights with a rental car for under $700 for that 4-day weekend. I mean, that's
pretty amazing.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah. That's absolutely good. Yeah. And, you know, for all the, you know, kind of consolidation of people to meet and work to, you know, kind of cross collaborations and stuff, that's a heck of a bargain, actually.
Mm-hmm.
East Coast? Yeah, that'd be fun. Where would be fun in the East Coast to meet up?
Someplace warm.
Chesapeake Bay area. That might be nice.
Maryland?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where my ex-wife's from, was Elkton, Maryland. We actually stood on the Chesapeake Bay. It was hot and muggy.
Virginia, somewhere over there.
Yeah.
Richmond. I don't know. There's lots of choices. Anywhere south of New York. South of Baltimore.
That's funny. Yeah, that's kind of how Montana feels here too. Like closer to the moon than anybody else on Earth.
Well, speaking of the moon, a week from Monday, the solar eclipse is going to pass directly over Indianapolis.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's gonna be fun.
First time in 800 years it's passed over central Indiana. So,
wow.
Yeah, everybody's all eclipse crazy around here, getting the special glasses and the parties together. The kids are even out of school that day.
Wow, that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be fun to watch. I hear that Jeff from the SBG gang was saying that we got to get a particular type of lens that blocks the sun. It's very particular because I guess it's going to be pretty intense or something. I didn't know.
I just hope we have a good, nice, clear day for it.
Yeah.
It's not raining.
Cloudy and raining, right?
Yeah, for sure. That'll happen. These stupid vacations take all of our money. But
yep.
Oh well, we can't get buried with it. So
I will be going to Keto Palooza in Louisville, Kentucky, in October.
That's nice and close to you. Yep.
Yeah, it's 2 hours away, so I will be going to that. And I'll get to meet Dr. Barry there because I believe he is going to that.
Yeah, that'd be what is it?
Keto Palooza.
Keto Palooza
in Louisville, Kentucky.
That would be fun. I bet. Oh, that's the one that Russ goes to a lot, right? Because he's right in that area.
Yeah,
I believe he does go to that one. Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Yeah, it'd be nice to meet Russ. He'd be cool guy to meet.
Yeah, for sure. He's going to be at KetoCon too. Yeah, only at Totality for sure. I heard that too. And then they were saying something about for a certain amount of time, depending on where you're at, you could look at it for a certain length of time. So that's going to be awesome. Well, that'll be real fun. When is your first? I think Michael posted. When is your interview with Carrie?
On Wednesday.
Wednesday. I got
Wednesday at 8:00 Eastern.
I got you.
Yep. That'll be fun. And then I'm having a meeting here in Indianapolis. One of the fans of my channel, she asked me about doing it and she offered to help organize. So I'm like, well, let's do it. So April 27th at a restaurant here on the north side of Indy, we're going to have a meetup. And we've already got, I don't know, about 10 people signed up. And we've got a few businesses that are sending us some swag for door prizes and giveaways. So that should be fun.
That's awesome.
Looking forward to it. Yeah.
That'd be way fun.
That's on my channel too. If anybody's in the area and wants to go, just go to my channel and send me an email.
Yeah. Oh, and shout out to Brett's channel, Who's Your Carnivore, Adam at Carnivore Today, and Mike Shaw at Mike Shaw TV. And who else did we have in here?
Robin.
Yep, Carnivorous Grandma.
Robin said she's going to try to make it, but she may have another commitment. So she's going to try to make it to my meetup if she can. But
Robin just had an awesome interview with Chafee, I saw.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, that was really good. Did I miss any YouTubers?
DC.
Oh, DC. Yep, DC Learning to
Oh,
Live.
yeah, I saw him comment.
He was in here. Let's see. So we got DC Learning to Live. I should remember that. And me and DC just did an interview with me that'll be coming out too. Guys, definitely go check out DC. He's got an awesome channel. We're thinking about going to Rumble to have a lesser civil discourse about deep state and what they're doing to our food. Definitely.
Yeah, it's crazy. We need to change something in this country, and to at least go, have this kind of the same standards they're using in Europe, where they're not allowing these like red 40 and these artificial coloring and the high fructose corn syrup. And I mean, that would be, I don't want to say America should be like Europe really in any fashion, but they got it right on the food.
They do. And like, if you're going to have regulatory agencies, let's not have corrupt ones, please. Let's actually have them regulate for the good of the people.
For the people instead of for their pockets.
Exactly. These are supposed to be, these are supposed to be civil servants, right? And this is a subversion of our democracy and our rights and our what our government's supposed to be and what capitalism is supposed to be. It's being bought off and by evil people. And we need to start holding their balls to the fire, basically. We got to start making these sons of bitches pay for killing people for profit. We know what they're doing. We have to stop them, And I mean, well, this is a conversation for Rumble, but
if they could make CO2 a carcinogen,
right,
then we can make sugar a class 3 substance.
Exactly.
Absolutely. That's a great point. And it's like, why are we still pretending like seed oils are not absolutely cancer causing crap? How are we, why are we still playing around with this? I know, it's just the money. People are bought off. Yep. It's sick.
Yep. It's money.
It is. It absolutely is. Let's see here. Oh, and I think B-Dog's coming down too. I think B-Dog said, yeah, he sent me, I think he's put in a comment that him and a buddy of his are going to be down there.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. Thank you, Keith.
Absolutely. Let's see here. April 8th is first day back after 2 weeks. Nice. Yep, it is. It is that time of year, isn't it? I am looking forward to summer.
Me too. Looking forward to just feeling good and getting out and moving and wanting to do stuff.
For sure. Get some sun. It's going to be a good time.
Going to go to the Indianapolis 500 this year.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
That's a good time.
Hopefully they don't have some pronoun car or something. You know what I mean?
No, it's pretty family friendly. It's there's not a lot of stuff like that there.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I met up with an old high school friend, and her dad has gone to every Indy 500 since 1956.
Wow.
And he has all the ticket stubs and everything. And he was actually on TV. They did an interview with him on one of the local news channels. And he brings in a camper, and he has a camping spot that's right across from the track. And so we're going over there to have dinner with them the night before. I'm going to spend the night there, me and my son, and then we'll get up and just walk to our seats, like, 300 yards away.
Right.
And then go back there and hang out after the race and let the crowds clear out, because it's the largest single day sporting event in the world. There's 250, 400,000 people there sometimes when it sells out. I mean, it's insanity, but it's fun.
It sounds, and don't you go there for like, how long does that race last?
Well, it used to last all day when they went 100 miles an hour, but now it lasts like 2.5 hours.
Oh, that's
We're
crazy.
500 miles in 2.5 hours.
That is crazy. Wow.
Yep.
Handicap for
If you've never been, you owe it to yourself to go at least once.
Lisa, does Lisa have a YouTube channel? That's an incredible statement there. She says, carnivore lifestyles kept me from being handicapped from MS. Thank God for meat. Absolutely. I wonder if Lisa's got a YouTube channel, because that would be great to follow as well.
I've heard more than one person lately saying that their symptoms of multiple sclerosis have lightened, if not almost completely gone away, doing carnivore. It takes time, but for that healing to happen. But I've heard of people fixing it, or reducing the symptoms of it enough to where it's not, it doesn't affect them so badly. Oh yeah, photograph mini 500s. Yeah, there's a lot of celebrities that go. Quite a few.
That's awesome. Now he's photographing like super celebrities like us carnivores. The real meat and potatoes of the celebrity world. Minus the
real meat and butter of it.
Exactly.
That's right. I got to see him again at the meetup at Montello Theater.
Right.
We met in Chicago in October, and then I just got to see him a couple weeks ago. So
that's awesome.
Adam's the best. He's awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting him in Texas. But then he just reminded me. So I'm a huge fan of comedy, obviously, and he reminded me that he just went to Dave Chappelle yesterday, and he reminded me that Dave Chappelle's only like 10 miles from his house. And I'm like, well, now I'm going to visit Adam like twice a month. Dave Chappelle's
I know Dave Chappelle lives around the Dayton, Ohio area, out in the country somewhere.
Yeah, he said he's like right next to him. So he went and saw him, and Dave's the GOAT. So I got to see that. And he said his boys know how to get the tickets and the good seats. And I'm like, well, then now there's going to be a meetup at Adam's house. He might not know it.
Dayton has an airport. You can fly right into Dayton.
Oh, I will be too. I told him right after Keto Hack Your Health, expect to see me, because we're having a Dave Chappelle night for sure. Let's see here. Go back. I'm gonna go to Lisa. I'm trying to buy meat from local ranchers now. I raise my own eggs, laying hens. Yep, exactly.
Oh, that's awesome. I'd love to do that someday once we're done at this house, because we're in a neighborhood with an association, and there's no way I could ever have a chicken. They'd string me up. But once we're the kids at the house, I plan to buy a place with some acreage and hopefully have some chickens or something. That could be fun.
That's how to do it. Huh?
Yeah, I'm planning on building a fairly sizey chicken coop this summer too, because if I want to go back to the 36 eggs a day, and I think in order to do that, I need to have more like 50 chickens
at least.
Yeah. So and I only bought 20 last year, so I thought 20 was going to be a lot, and it was not. So I'm going to get like another 30 to 40 more of them, and then we're going to be in business.
Be selling them.
Yeah.
Have you done any videos like raising your chickens and getting eggs and
No, so like right now, when I bought the 20, I bought them because my sister was already raising chickens, and so my sister takes care of them, and I pay my niece to go collect the eggs every day for me,
there you
and
go.
but anyhow, now it's gonna be bigger because I was like, hey, do you want 50 more chickens? And she's like, no, I can't, because she's already got like 60 chickens. She's like, I can't handle 50 more chickens. And so I decided, all right, I'm gonna have to build a big chicken coop, but I think I'm gonna go kind of crazy with it and like dig in even footers and pour concrete footers so that nothing can dig under the chicken fence,
Oh,
and then anchor it to the concrete footers going all the way around, and then put a ceiling on it so that nothing can get in there, right? Because we have critters that are going to be, we have mountain lions and bobcats, like we had goats
hawks
that
and
were
eagles and stuff that'll
yeah
swoop
coming
down and get them.
yeah, and so I want to build the big one, and so I want to kind of enclose it, keep them fed in there, and then I have a big coop in there as well, so to make it easy. So, but once I get that up, I'll do some videos on it for sure, because I'm addicted to fresh chicken eggs now. Once you go fresh chicken eggs, you can't go back
Right.
to the store-bought ones. They're just
They're good.
I get them when I can. There's farmers that put them out around here all the time. It's
Yeah.
just getting them,
Oh.
showing up when the eggs are there, because people buy them up and they're gone every time I try.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the meetup that we're doing here in Indy, the lady who's helping me organize, she raises chickens and ducks, and she's going to bring me some duck eggs. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to trying duck eggs.
Do you guys have Murdochs where you're from?
Doesn't
Mm.
sound familiar.
It's a ranch and home supply store here, and in the spring, it's dangerous to let any of the women folk go in there because they have water troughs, those giant like horse water troughs, full of duck and chickens, little itty bitty babies, and they sell them for like $2 to $5, and so all the women always come home, and they've always got ducks in their purse and stuff, little. And everything gets taken over with it, but everybody laughs because it's dangerous, because they literally will go there just to pet the ducks because they are super cute. Yeah, little itty bitty ones.
Tiny.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never had a grizzly in my backyard, but I bet they like them. I would guess that grizzlies would eat chicken eggs for sure.
It'd be fun to watch a grizzly bear try to chase down a chicken.
Yeah, the homeowner association, because it's a bunch of pretentious, stuck-up people that want to tell other people how to live, and they
more control.
More nonsense. But no, I agree.
Constantly worried about resale value and that somebody's going to move in and paint their house purple and
right.
Yeah.
Well, and hey, it's our right as an American to have a V8 hanging from a tree and a few chickens in the backyard. So get off me.
That's right.
Also, if I want to sight in my gun, I will do it in my backyard like a free American.
Mm-hmm.
We're not free no more, though.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying duck eggs.
That'd be fun. Yeah, my sister's got a couple of big duck eggs, but I had one the other day, and it does taste different, but I don't mind them. My sister doesn't like them. I don't mind them at all. I actually like that. She's got a couple of chickens that lay these blue eggs. They're a lot bigger eggs. They're chickens, but they're blue eggs. I forget what they're called, but the shell is crazy thick on them, like super hard to crack. Yeah. And those ones are my favorite, I think, out of all of them. But I forget what they're called, but they throw blue eggs, believe it or not.
Must be a certain breed of hen that produces those.
Yep, I think I have the Rhode Island Reds and the gray something or others. The gray ones are kind of neat looking, but I got 10 of each, 10 Rhode Island Reds and 10 of the gray whatevers, but 5 of the gray ones that I got had some genetic disorder and they died. Their wings were breaking. I was a little bummed out about those. Let's see. Trying to find the gray ones because the gray ones are cool looking. Okay, here's some of the gray ones. I like the gray. The color of them look good, but they didn't. I'm just getting ready to share the screen, but they didn't fare very well, unfortunately. But their colors
Oh,
are
those are
cool.
pretty.
Yeah, they're pretty neat. And these are the Rhode Island Reds behind them. But yeah, the gray ones didn't fare so well. We lost half of them, but all the Rhode Island Reds made it. So gotta store back up. But yeah, they're good egg laying chickens for sure. Probably vegan chickens.
Probably.
Chickens are carnivorous. They'll eat anything down on the ground, bugs and meat and seeds, and they'll eat all kinds of stuff. They'll eat fruit and vegetables you throw out, and they'll eat a whole bunch of stuff.
Wow, Adam's got 2 big interviews coming up. I didn't know I was coming on your show, Adam. That's a little joke. The old days. I mean, vegan chickens. Looking forward to it, Adam. Yeah, that'll be fun. Well, we made it 3 hours again, so that's good.
Yeah.
The place was not the same without Lindy, but
it wasn't.
Yeah, we lost our superstar today, but our thoughts, prayers to her, and her little Bella's in a better place now, so that's good. And well, it's not good, but it's she's not hurt no more, so that's good.
Right. No more suffering.
Yeah.
Her dog was 17.
Yeah, that's a long time, you know.
That's a nice long life for a dog.
Yeah,
that is
for sure. You know, a dog's got to be treated pretty good to make it that long. You know, it's got to be really like living and being treated well. So that's really awesome. Let's see here. And Brett, I appreciate you coming on, and I'm definitely going to check out your first
show on Wednesday
interview. Yep, on Wednesday with Carrie.
Yeah,
we'll be over there.
And that was what, 8 p.m. Eastern time?
Yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday.
Yep. Oh, and there's Arlene. Hey, Arlene. We're just
Arlene. She always comments on all our. She's always in the chats and comments on videos, my videos and stuff.
For sure, she is a carnivore trooper. I see her in all of the main lives.
Yep.
For sure. But right on. But we are going to call it a show. We appreciate you guys coming. Next week is our 6-month anniversary special. We've been doing the 700 plus live for 6 months, so that's exciting. We're going to have to come up with something fun to do on that one. Maybe maybe Michael will dye his eggs.
Maybe you can get a little special guest to come on or something.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have to think.
So you can get Bella to come on with you or something.
We appreciate you, Lindy. Yeah, absolutely. That'd be fun. Definitely do that. Maybe I'll have to see if maybe Carrie can even hop on because he just had his 1-year carniversary as well about a week ago.
Yep, I did too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep. Yeah. My carniversary was on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah,
you guys
that's when I started it.
Right on. Yeah, I appreciate it, Adam. Well, I reckon we're going to let you guys all go. Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Yeah, it's so funny. I mean, 6 months went by really quick.
It did, yes.
Super quick. So, but we love you guys. We appreciate you coming. And we will see you next Sunday with our 6-month special. So we will see you guys.
All right. See you guys.
Night, guys.
Bye.